And then I said, it's not coming home, it's in Russia! Oh dear. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Big Damn Cast. I'm Jon Gransden.
And I am Matthew Watson.
And it's been a hell of a week.
It has been one hell of a week in the world of Big Damn.
Indeed.
And let's see what we've got on the slate, on the tablet for this week. Some sad news to start off, of course, with the death of comics legend Steve Ditko, dead at 90 years old. And of course, as you know, huge comics guys here on this podcast, this is a real... It sucks. Like,
it's really
Steve Ditko was a legend. Like,
he was a complete
created Spider-Man, created Doctor Strange, created the Question, and working around until his death. Working around until he dropped. So absolute tragedy.
The definition of a good innings.
90 years.
But
that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So it's sad to start the podcast with such news, but we can only. A tribute to his work and how incredible it was. So, Steve Ditko,
to Steve,
well remembered.
Yes,
this
indeed.
one's for you.
Yes.
Hey. Beers.
What episode are we on now? Oh, yeah. By smashing our glasses together,
we're in episode. I have to put my mouth around the bottle because it's foaming. That's what episode.
Good timing on the question.
What are you doing?
What
are you doing? What is it? What is this?
Sorry, and you are?
Very funny. Nice change from the usual.
Yes. Yes, I thought so.
It's John. What are you doing in my seat?
What do you mean your seat? It's mine.
You shat in my sheet. You shat right in my sheet.
I thought you wouldn't notice. I'm so sorry.
It's that Casey Affleck movie, A Ghost Story. He's wearing your sheet.
Could be worse. It could be worse. He could be wearing my skin.
Well, you'd know all about that, wouldn't you, Christopher?
Good night, everybody.
And it was all a funny joke. Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Jon Gransden. Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Welcome to this filth. What are you doing on the Big Damn Cast this week?
I was invited.
Yeah.
That's how that works, Christopher.
That's pretty much how,
Why are you asking him? You know why he's here.
Yeah, I know I see it. I'm here to perform experiments on John, but I thought before he goes under the knife, you may as well join us for some pop culture bollocks.
Yes, yeah.
Rather. Nice little eulogy there, gents, for Steve Ditko at the top end.
Yeah. I was really sad news, but I've had that moment recently. Where I've thought
turn 90.
I've turned 90. But I've had the moment not a couple of months ago, and I was like, I had to be like, is Steve Ditko still alive? Because he's
very reclusive.
He was such a recluse.
Well, do you remember there was a BBC Three? It might have even been a BBC Choice documentary from Jonathan Ross and Neil Gaiman.
Oh yeah,
called In Search of Steve Ditko.
Oh wow! I don't think I saw it.
Yeah, because they wanted to go find him because they were like, where the hell is he?
Okay.
And because he was always working and stuff, but he's never been a...
He's never been a public figure, really.
Public figure. He'd occasionally lecture at unis and stuff and talk art. But he was always very much a guy who let the characters speak for themselves and the work speak for itself. He was never really a soapbox figure of, hey, here's how we did it, and here's what I can do, and ha-cha-cha-cha, look at me.
Even when he was working on Spider-Man, he would, because he didn't get on with Stanley, he would literally just turn up, drop his hat off with the secretariat and go.
Yeah,
he was a work at home even in the 60s.
Yeah,
but
he didn't. Yeah. What I thought was really annoying was because he did a version of the cover of Amazing Fantasy 15.
Yeah,
but the cover of Amazing Fantasy 15, the debut issue of Spider-Man, is not a Steve Ditko piece, is it?
It's Jack Kirby, I think.
Yeah, and Kirby also did Amazing Spider-Man issue 1.
Yeah,
which you can really tell when you look at the Fantastic Four on the front cover. You're like, yeah that's a Kirby.
They don't suspect my true power.
What? That you stick to things?
I'm stuck.
They're looking at you do it, yes. You sad teenager.
Oh,
but yeah, no, I mean, influential as hell. The guy created Squirrel Girl, co-created...
He created Squirrel Girl?
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
That's true, yeah. Like, we're talking the 80s. Squirrel Girl was when he rocked up and chipped in for that one.
Oh yeah, because of course, Speedball and New Warriors and Speedball...
That was a Ditko. Doctor Strange, obviously. Probably his best. Probably his... I'd argue Doctor Strange is probably his most interesting... creation because of the visuals.
That early Steve Ditko Strange Tales stuff with the visuals of that, and
so many vistas.
Particularly when so many vistas.
So many.
Particularly when he does get into like the sort of strange landscapes of different magical realms.
Translated
like,
almost verbatim
yeah.
in the Doctor Strange film at the end, Dormammu's realm.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was really something.
Good work, man. One of Spider-Man's daddies has passed away, and that's sad.
Yes, and I don't want to think of the logical conclusion to that.
Let's talk about things that aren't sad. We've got a guest here, Matt. We've got a lovely man. We've got a talented man, an animateur, a writer,
as well as John.
Yeah, I was going to say. when is he coming in?
Come on, that was an easy give.
He's here right now. Say hello, mystery guest.
Oh, hello.
It's Jordan Peterson.
Is it coming home, mystery guest?
Oh, it's certainly not. It's officially not.
Yeah, we
just lost.
Yeah, we're currently recording this, guys, on the night of the semi-final, the England semi-final, and we found out about 5 minutes ago that England did not win.
Oh, Croatia 2-1.
Croatia took it off.
We're still in
sorry
extra
about
time,
that.
but yeah, it's pretty much it.
Oh no, sorry about that. That's my fault. I do
Mandzukic.
apologize.
That's alright. Where are you going now, strange guest?
Who am I? I'm not sure.
Who am I? Why am I here? You don't know, but I know. You'll
I
find out one day, but you don't want to know when that day is.
I'm just here to ruin the football. I've done that now. Bye.
Alright. Wow.
That was the football roundup, the everyone's favourite section of the show.
Yeah, the sports.
That's more bad news.
Hey!
What's next on the docket, you handsome bear?
So, you know those Star Wars movies?
Or as I call you, Winnie the Pooh.
And you know how people keep complaining that they keep putting new characters in Star Wars?
Yeah, they do.
Well, I've got some great news for you.
Oh.
They've dusted off Billy D. Williams. And they're getting him to spit and shine his shoes. Because he's coming back for episode 9.
Is he going to sing about wine? And
I really hope so.
Probably, yeah.
Lando
Calrissian.
Billy D. Williams is returning as Lando Calrissian for J.J. Abrams' Star Wars Episode 9. This one's for the fans.
J.J. Abrams is back.
Yeah, I know, right? Talk about one step forward, 2 steps back. No, I say that. I really like The Force Awakens. And it's certainly guilty of retreading old ground in a way that The Last Jedi isn't.
It retreaded old ground.
It did.
So I was just looking up Billy D. Williams is. He was Two-Face in the Lego Batman movie.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
I know who he is.
That's your point of reference, Billy D. Williams.
And would have been Two-Face in Batman Forever had Tim Burton not left the project.
Right.
Because he was Harvey Dent in Batman 1989.
And so it was nice that in that film they gave him his role.
Yeah. That Lego Batman did it as a little, here you go.
Oh, that's nice.
You're finally Two-Face.
He signed up to be Harvey Dent in the original Batman because he thought he was going to go and get to be Two-Face at a later date. Because he knew there was going to be a franchise. So
it only took about 30 years.
Yeah. It's the long way around. But yeah, so he's coming back for Star Wars. Now,
Clara sometimes asks me if I dream.
Oh no!
And I say yes, I dream of Billy. Billy D. Williams.
From Star Wars. Let me tell you.
I dream of Billy.
Sorry, you were talking about coming back to Star Wars.
What was I saying? Yes. No, my only concern is Billy D. Williams...
He's geriatric.
If you've seen him in recent...
Can voice act, but is geriatric.
But, if you've seen him in recent appearances, he is frail in a way that...
is obvious.
Han Solo. That Harrison Ford isn't, that Mark Hamill isn't, that Carrie Fisher wasn't. So that's my only concern.
All I'm saying is if you're excited about this news, don't, for the love of God... look up his Dancing with the Stars appearances on YouTube.
Oh.
From about 4 years ago.
Oh.
There is a Star Wars themed one.
Oh.
And it's hard to watch.
Better or worse than the holiday special?
Well, which ones can?
That's a very good question.
Depends on which
they're both in the
faction of the fans you ask.
They're both in the Legends continuity. It's oh god.
Having not seen it, does Solo?
Yes.
is that linked to the holiday special anyway? Like there was...
No, there are Wookiees, and in the trailer it looked like it was Chewie hugging maybe his wife Marla, but it's not. It's a faction of Wookiees that are enslaved in this factory thing.
Chewie frees some Wookiees in the movie, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they hug.
They hug, yeah.
And then they...
that's
how Wookiees mate. They swap lice, and then...
Yeah.
And then the little lice get to work.
Yeah, and then you get pregnant.
Busy!
They get pregnant the long way round.
The Chewbacca life cycle.
The dirty lies.
Oh, dear me.
Put them in your lice.
So yeah,
give them
it's
the
gonna
time.
be good for the fans to see Lando back, but do we really need to?
Well,
I guess, yeah, like bring back old people. But
What was the most interesting aspect of Lando's character in Empire Strikes Back? It was his relationship with...
Han Solo.
Yeah, who's not around anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Which
Who was the character who he had the second most amount of interaction with that was an interesting interaction? Leia, who's not around anymore.
Yeah.
He barely knows Chewie, really.
Yeah, well...
And he and Luke share about maybe 2 lines of dialogue in the entire series.
Yeah. I think it could be an interesting angle of seeing the revenge boner Lando has for the kid who killed off his best friend. Is he his best friend, though? I guess.
Based on Empire,
they are friends.
Based on Solo, no.
Well, no, they're not friends yet.
Yeah.
Are they?
You watch, they'll do what they did with the whole... You know, in The Last Jedi, there was a whole thing with the dice, and they kept emphasising, good, they're good. Yeah, we have a neutral ground in this podcast. That's lovely.
Yeah,
I saw.
He likes it. I want to kill it, but not in the creepy remake it way.
Myself and Billy Tracy saw...
What, yourself and Billy Tracy, also of the FiveWhoFans? And the podcast Milk Two Sugars?
Yes, which is currently dormant. Cancelled by Michael Grade. Waiting for the American remake.
Milk and 2 Sugars in distress.
Get on it, Levine.
You've got to do something while you're not watching all these movies.
But we went and saw...
Could you check that's 12 minutes, we're already on Doctor Who.
Hey!
I was just going to say, me and Billy saw The Force Awakens. That was the 7th film.
The Jijabrums one.
Yes,
the Jijabrums.
And we went and saw it in the cinema over the Christmas it came out, and we turned to each other at the end and just went, 4 out of 10? Yeah. And that was it. We were like, is that what the fuss was about?
Is that it?
Okay. Because I think Billy could talk about it better than I could, because I think he's watched them all now. But I was like, this doesn't speak to me at all. So it's...
Yeah, I can understand.
Are you not excited by the return of a geriatric old man to a franchise he hasn't been in for 40 years?
What, you mean Colin Baker's coming back to Doctor Who?
Hey, if you listen to Big Finish, he never went away.
And if you watch Star Wars Rebels, Lando never went away.
No, also,
Billy D,
he pops up in one. Yeah,
he got a character arc though.
Did he?
They actually gave him stuff to do. He's in a couple.
I've only seen him in one episode. But
Meat. I think it's series 3 when he has a proper
bite
of the apple.
Interesting.
But in Last Jedi, there was a set of dice in the Millennium Falcon's cockpit. Like a set of die, like these little metal, so like a bracelet, almost like a charm bracelet.
Which have been there in all the movies.
Which have been there, but they've never been a focal point. They're just part of the set. And they're looked at in The Last Jedi by Luke and then given to Leia at the end, almost like this really big thing. Excuse me, burp trapped. And
of course they played that up in Solo.
Yeah. At the start of Solo, it's like he has them, he makes sure he takes them with him, and he gives them to his friend Kira, and she gives it back to him later, like they're a big thing. Yes, so you know they only did it really in The Last Jedi, because they wanted a thing, a physical thing of hands to be a focal point. So they picked that, and then went, we'll make it more important by making it a thing in Solo.
Right, okay.
So I've got a feeling that Lando will probably, in this, end up in the Falcon, and there'll be a completely obvious reference to his droid co-pilot / companion / lover, who is part of the ship's computer as of the end of Solo.
Definitely sex that robot.
Something which is
Definitely
not referenced in Empire Strikes Back once.
Nope.
Something which is not referenced in Return of the Jedi once. Both films in which he flies the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
But they'll totally reference it in this one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Because reasons. Because they want to build up the mythology more in a way that just isn't very organic.
It's not that I have a problem with bringing back old characters. It's just
Need
does
to
it make sense?
Mm.
Because all the
interesting stuff from the new
all
ones has been the new stuff.
yeah. But all the returns of old characters have made sense and had
Yeah,
payoff, both
yeah.
emotional and just fan servicey.
Mm.
Like particularly the Luke stuff in Last Jedi. I've got a hell of a... I know we disagree on this, but I think the emotional payoff for it was just brilliant.
Sorry, two people talking on the internet about two things that they disagree.
Yeah.
And not fighting each other, calling each other cocks.
No.
I mean, we both consume large amounts of soy.
I saw it today.
Yeah.
I saw it with my own eyes.
So much soy.
You both opened 4-litre bottles of soy and glugged them down at once.
We did.
I am a soy boy.
We shill for soy,
Yeah.
if anything, and
Yeah.
Disney.
Disney and soy.
I cannot shield
The
for
Disney
Disney.
soy empire. But also on a slightly related note to like geriatric old men coming back to franchises that they haven't been famous for in 30 years. So Indiana Jones 5 has been put back.
Yeah,
It's like 2021.
that was the news story this week. Indiana
We're
Jones
nuts.
5 put back, which was met with
Was it
that
even
reaction.
Yeah.
Exactly, that was the reaction it was met with. Wait, what?
Harrison Ford is going to be dead by the time you try and make this.
It's alright, they've got CGI.
Like, why are you doing this? The man is old.
I mean, talking him.
Just boot up the CG.
I was like I say, he's not frail in the same way that Billy D. Williams has been shown to be recently. Which is the only thing that I've kind of got against him returning for the Star Wars. It's just like, yo, if he's not up to it, then don't make him do it. But
don't make him do the thing, guys.
yeah,
So is Lando famous for dancing and stuff?
no, but it's just like it's a.
I mean, he's funny.
I wanted to see
No.
an old man trying to like moonwalk into the set of Star Wars 9.
Yes.
Is that what he does? I don't know.
baby,
But
I
it's-
still got it.
It is an action adventure franchise, and they made Mark Hamill get fitter and do some stuff
For nearly 4 years.
yeah.
Considering
And-
he didn't film for a very long
yes.
time.
And
Mark, we need to get you fit and trim so you can turn around.
and when they were making Force Awakens, they nearly broke Harrison Ford because they dropped a door on his leg.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So which he sued him for.
Did he actually see him?
Yeah, if you wanted.
Because of course you would.
And then use.
Like he needs.
Oh my
oh
God!
my God! What's this?
What's that?
What the hell's this?
Sorry about that.
Sorry, everybody. Just some copyrighted material drifted in
Yeah,
there.
sorry. You have to set it to not turn off.
I ruined the football, now I ruined everything else.
Oh, it's football results man
Oh, I
again.
forgot what accent it was. Never mind. I've got
No,
New Zealand.
the
now.
entire country jumping the gun is what ruined the football.
Right.
Yeah.
It's coming home.
It's coming
home. The revenue for
Mhm.
Frank Skinner is coming home.
And David Baddiel.
Checks to David Baddiel.
And also the lightning seeds. Remember the lightning seeds?
Yeah.
No
Now
one else
I do.
does.
Now I do.
I don't know what that was.
Afterwards, we'll listen to some Jimmy Nail.
Remember the lightning seeds?
An XTC.
Remember Goosebumps?
I remember Goosebumps.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Segway.
Remember that Goosebumps movie that you liked and no one else saw?
I really liked. And
I saw a clip of it.
America saw it at Halloween 2015.
Mm.
And then the rest of the world got it in February 2016.
Sony.
That was a sensible decision from Sony. The latest in their line of sensible decisions. They make incredibly...
Sony?
Are they having like some sort of competition with Warner Brothers? To be like...
Which studio could outstupid the other? We're playing cat and mouse here because we don't know who's going to do the stupid thing next.
Let's release this kid-friendly horror comedy movie in fucking February. Idiots.
Well, what happened in relation to Goosebumps, Matthew?
We're getting another one.
Are we? Are we really?
Enough people saw that first one and we're getting another one.
You sound sceptical, even though I know you saw the trailer.
I showed you the trailer.
You showed it.
I made the
You
trailer.
forced us. You forced me down.
So,
Hands on my wrists.
I'm quite fond of Goosebumps. I was as a kid. I enjoyed the books. I thought the TV series was cool, but Slappy the Dummy scared me away that much. I tried not to watch it as much as I could, or at least wait for the title to come up to see what story it was, and then when it wasn't one of his, I'd watch it.
You loved it, you too.
My favourite was the Cuckoo Clock of Doom.
I had the VHS of A Night in Terror Tower with introduction by R.L. Stein.
The later seasons was like, hello, I'm R.L. Stein.
I write the Goosebumps books.
I'm also not particularly charismatic on camera.
Which is why they made Jack Black play a fictionalized version of me in the film.
And then he appears at the end briefly in the school halls as a teacher called Mr. Black.
Huh.
Which is a nice little... Nice little...
Let's see what
nice
you
little
did
note
there.
Lovely little story there.
It's a story that I love.
Very good, Mr. Ventura.
So the first movie, Goosebumps, was like 25 odd years too late. Not for lack of trying. The first Goosebumps movie pitch happened in the late 90s and Tim Burton was set to direct it. True story.
Okay.
True story, at the height of its powers.
Yes.
The nostalgia never went away. The books still do sell really well, hence why they ended up still making a movie. The film is basically... it's Monster Squad meets Gremlins. Like, it's small town gets terrorised by the creatures and hazards from the Goosebumps books. Because you learn that R.L. Stein travels the country with his daughter, moving from place to place to stop being discovered, because he's a successful writer and he likes writing, but the problem is, when he wrote the stories as he was growing up, the stories became real, because he always believed in it that much, and they were his, like, that was his stuff that he loved, the monsters, like, you know, the nasty stuff. Like, he preferred that, because he was always sort of picked on as a kid. Then eventually he realises, this is kind of dangerous, and makes sure that the original manuscripts are kept locked up.
Right.
And that keeps the monsters at bay. And then one fateful night, the neighbour, the main character played by Dylan Minnette, who's bloody brilliant in the first film. Everyone's great in the first film. Breaks into his study because he thinks Hannah, his daughter's in trouble. She's not. And they open up the Abominable Snowman of Pasadena, and all hell breaks loose, and it just begins to snowball from there, and classic Goosebumps monsters get highlighted appearances, and some are in the background, and it really annoyed people, like the Haunted Mask. She's in there, it's not, don't see her very much. But the film did really, really well in the States, and has done really well on home video, and has been a great example of Sony Pictures really getting family audiences in the last few years. It seems for every really shit family movie they release, animation, live action, whatever, they then seem to now be releasing two really good ones.
Yeah, there's interesting stuff happening.
It's like there's a nice build-up. When we were talking about it before, like I'm not a fan of any project that funds Adam Sandler in any way, but I am a fan of the freaking guy who created Dexter's Lab, so the visuals of Hotel Transylvania make me happy. I don't really care to watch them in full. The trailer for number 3 makes me feel sad, because I'm like, that's Dracula having a dance party on a boat. Like, what the hell's happening? But the visual animation style looks really pretty.
It's good just
And Mel Brooks is in it.
Yeah.
So, you know,
watch
maybe
them
I'll
on-
give it a go.
if you
Have you
watch-
watched producers yet, Matt?
Don't.
Good, I had to get out of the way.
You should watch them on mute.
Okay.
There's a lot of cartoons as well these days, which if you watch it on mute, you'll just be like, God, this is gorgeous. Because all the animators are sitting there turning off the audio and listening to other things and having fun. So I would recommend that, because you get to see the expressive nature of the animation which they're pushing. But you're like, on an animation standpoint, obviously, you know, we've got they recently did Storks, which was very
Looney
slapstick
Tunes and Merry Melodies, yeah.
Yes, and it was very loud but very wonderful. And now obviously later on this year, Sony Pictures Animation are bringing us the Spider-Verse.
Yes, the Into the Spider-Verse looks amazing. And again, just that they're taking that leap of going, let's try something that looks like nothing we've seen before.
Yeah.
And experiment, but also not at the cost of the story. Let's create something that, from what we can tell so far, is an interesting layered sci-fi wibbly epic, and there's loads of stuff happening in it, and it's superhero-y, but it's also a bit kind of time travel, what-if scenario thing going on. Focus on really popular character who people would love to see have a movie about them, Miles Morales. Give us something we've never had in a film, older, schlubbier Peter instead of the younger and experienced Peter.
Yes.
And it's like, this is great, I'm down for this is brilliant. So they're definitely doing something right. Jumanji. Lucy and I recently watched Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle. Brilliant.
Was there fun and games?
So much fun. There were fun and games. You could have everything you want.
Did they know the names?
They did know the names! Although one thing that made me go, the callback to the first movie is so obviously done as a way of just going, hey audience, and then they move on.
Okay, right.
It's really weird. Like, there's a brief bit where they meet with a new character in there, someone else who seems to be someone who was playing the game at some point, Nick Jonas's character, and he hides out in a camp that he found, and scratched into the bark of part of it were there's the words Alan Parrish was here.
Right.
And they say, like, you built this place? He's like, no, this guy did. It's like, it's Parrish's camp, I'm just living in it.
Mm.
And then someone sort of says, like, maybe it was someone else who played the game. And then they just move on from it. But it's done in such a way that's just like, yep, guys, remember the first one?
Yeah.
Do you remember the first one?
All right,
if they handled it almost less highlighty, it would have been more subtle than in the moment. Or even just not mention the name and just have a shot of that in the foreground, and there's the connection for the audience.
Like as they walk into the camp, you just have a panning shot, and in the foreground you see the bark, and it just says that, and then you're done.
Yeah. Or even just like someone puts on a shirt or whatever, and he's written in the name tag. They're like, "Who's Alan Parrish?" It's like someone else who played the game. I think I don't know. Like, I just found this place.
Yeah,
and then everyone at home goes, "Oh," because they realise, it's a reference to the original.
I saw that in the 90s.
But it's really entertaining and funny as hell, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson is brilliant playing against type.
Okay.
He is just...
And Karen Gillan is great playing a very
astounding.
uncomfortable sort of, like, out of a depth character, and Jack Black is hilarious playing a vapid teenage valley girl, and Kevin Hart is playing Kevin Hart.
The rise of Dwayne The Rock
to
Johnson to the prominence he has now has just been astounding.
He's kind of amazing.
Like, it's just the...
I would let him do things. Like, take me to the park.
Okay.
Between
what are you
his
going to do
legs.
at the park?
What?
What are you going to do at the park?
What?
Fly a kite.
Yeah.
Up to the
highest height.
With Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Yeah, and send it soaring.
Up through the
Wait,
atmosphere.
are you implying that Dwayne The Rock Johnson is playing Mr. Banks in Mary Poppins Returns?
Is he?
I don't know.
No, Billy D. Williams is going to play the role.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, God.
He's too old to fly kites. I feel bad for calling out Billy D. Williams on being too old, but, like, the man's frail. Come on.
Do you know what isn't frail?
What?
Goosebumps the franchise.
Hey!
Because Goosebumps 2 is it looks like... Do you know what I'm going to say this? I really, really enjoyed the first one.
Yes.
The second one, it was said earlier on that 2 scripts had been written. One featured characters from the first and would carry on that story. The other would be a completely standalone story, possibly narrated by Jack Black reprising the role of R.L. Stine.
Right, okay.
So more of an anthology, and the belief was for a while it was going to be an adaptation of the Horrorland book, and then the subsequent Welcome to Horrorland books in the Goosebumps series, the one about the theme park with the goblins. And
right, okay.
The original, at the end, you find out that the humans are actually not in a theme park, they're part of the attractions of this thing, and they're now just there. And
they're goblins.
And the horrors were sort of the icon of the series for that first few years when they were making merch about it. It was these green guys with the horns and the red eyes and stuff, and that they were the logo before freaking the hamster and Slappy and stuff got more popular. Not the hamster, the rabbit, Cuddles the bunny. And
there's a hamster though in Monster Blood, isn't there?
There is a hamster in Monster Blood, yeah. Actually, Cuddles is the hamster, the bunny's something else. And then there was a skeleton called Curly, who's not actually in any of the books.
No,
but he was just
was like the face for the merch for so long.
Wilkinson's.
Yeah.
They used to have like pads and freaking bouncy balls and stuff. Oh, they had so much.
I used to have an alarm clock with Curly on it that screamed as the alarm.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was like a dome thing, and you push down the dome to snooze it.
That's freaking cool.
That's cool.
It was cool.
So that it was like, do a Horrorland adaptation. Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween looks like it isn't going to be a direct sequel to the original movie, and is set some years after it, and some kids, including Benny from It, Chapter
Jeremy
1.
Ray Bullock.
Come again?
Jeremy Ray Bullock.
Sounds like a serial killer.
Not yet, give him time.
Give him time, he's only young. So, Jeremy Ray Bullock and his many victims come across
Future victims.
Come across in Stein's old-looking house, but it's definitely the house from the first one, a manuscript, a book that was locked away, seemingly never to be found, called Haunted Halloween.
It's a shit job of that, didn't it?
And it seems like it might have been Stein's ultimate, like his original like crossover book or whatever, his big event, or at least something with Slappy in it. Because Slappy's back.
The Avengers Infinity War of Goosebumps.
Yeah, and in the trailer we see the Abominable Snowman's back, and the Werewolf of Fever Swamp's back, and a bunch of new looking things. There's a really nice bit in the trailer where like Slappy obviously is summoning stuff through. It looks like Goosebumps and Halloween merch in a Walmart,
Yeah,
and they're just kind of climbing out of the stands.
Pretty neat.
That looked quite cool. Like right down to the snowman and the werewolf's face is still just being plastic masks, but the body sort of climbing out behind it. So there's some of that going on, and it looks like a very rushed trailer though. There's lots of shots of the first film in there. Like the first minute and a half of it is remember what happened in the last one with the stuff and the things?
This will get you back on side, guys. Come on.
And they've confirmed that Jack Black is reprising the voice of Slappy, but in the trailer it's Avery Jones, the guy who plays him on set.
Right.
Who might be more familiar to people because he was the voice of him for all of the social media and the junkets and everything at the time of the first
Because you're
one.
the only person who actually watched Goosebumps.
In the UK, maybe. In America, it did really bloody well. So much that this sequel was greenlit by November 2015.
Before we'd
three
even
weeks
had
since
the
film's
original.
run. Before we'd even had it, yeah.
That's impressive, to be fair.
I will say this. It does look, but maybe it's just because they're reusing a lot of stuff, like a little cheaper. Not so much the visuals, but more just the, here's this glory effect shot.
Well,
and here's
there's-
this effect shot. Are you excited yet, guys? Here's this effect shot.
I'm not that excited.
Here's a snippet of a bit of dialogue.
It looks like it's got the potential of retreading the first film.
Yeah, it depends on how they twist it. But then again, if they're aiming at the younger audience this time that were won over to the franchise by the first film, because the first film played really well to all ages because 80s and 90s kids were like, oh my god, yes! And the people who grew up with the TV show and syndication were like, oh my god! And
You know you're a 90s kid when...
the Fox Kids logo makes you cream pie.
Makes me cry, pie.
Ooh. And then a bunch of kids won over by the first one. A load of the books got reissued. There was loads of activity books and tie-ins to the films that did really well in the States. Scholastic did some stuff with Goosebumps last year and brought Slappy back to do some of the marketing for a horror selection they did for ages, and that was in schools throughout America. So Goosebumps is back for that younger audience.
Yeah.
It's new for them, but it's back. So if this film's aiming directly at the younger audience, fine, I'm cool with that. That's great. I'll still watch it and enjoy it and have a laugh. But yeah, that trailer did feel a bit more like we were watching, The Little Mermaid 2 rather than
The straight to video.
Yeah, Ursula's crazy sister. So yeah,
Ursula's hotter sister.
what?
Yeah, I've seen that film.
You got a thing for Morgana?
Is it Cinderella
Also
3?
played by Pat Carroll.
I don't really know.
A
Cinderella-
Twist in Time.
Yeah, that's the one where it turns out the evil stepmother is now Cinderella.
Oh no! One of the other stepsisters gets the slipper because the stepmother steals the fairy godmother's wand, turns her to stone, and turns time back.
Yes.
And it's Disney Toon going,
Good.
fuck it, let's just tell a story we would like to tell. And it's kind of brilliant.
Very good.
It's really odd. It's like the Lion King sequels are beautifully animated but kind of pointless. Cinderella 3 A Twist in Time is sort of genius but is forgotten and ignored because it's Cinderella 3 A Twist in Time. So
Cinderella 3.
Cinderella 3 A Twist in Time. Have a little look at it with your eye. Put it in the slipper and make it cry.
Let's talk about another long-running franchise.
You're not gonna, are you? No, come
What?
on, no.
What?
No, Matt, no!
This one's for you, Chris.
Oh?
So tell me about the Child's Play developments. So something's been happening. There's been rumblings in the Child's Play camp.
Something has been
Camp
happening.
Chucky.
And I will tell you about it in precisely 30 seconds' time, whilst I grab a beverage.
Oh!
In the meantime, John, are you familiar with Child's Play?
No.
Matt, fill John in on Child's Play. I
Right.
made you watch all the films last year. That
You
made
did?
you qualified.
Well, you didn't make me watch all the films. It was voluntary. Child's Play is one of the survivors of what I like to call the mascot horror film boom of the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's, it's a series of films revolving around a doll which contains the soul of a serial killer, voiced by, what's his name? Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings. What's your buddy called? What's he called, Chris? Brad Dourif, that's the one. Couldn't remember his name.
Oh, mysterious voice away.
Couldn't remember his name. And he's got a sense of humour, and he kills people, and it's got a comic edge to it, and then they reinvented it in the late 90s, early 2000s with Bride of Chucky, and he brought Jennifer Tilly on, and it's fun and silly. And then again recently, thanks to crowdfunding and direct-to-video distribution, Don Mancini, who's the creator of the franchise, has managed to pump a couple more out to sort of expand the mythology and keep it going. And they're fun. They're fun and silly. not all of them are particularly good.
Hey,
But-
that's true.
That's definitely true. But there's joys to be had with Child's Play, and it's like I say, those sort of mascot horror films. Sometimes they keep pumping them out, and they really, really run them into the ground.
Especially when they're pumped out in quick succession.
Yeah,
I mean, look at the 80s and the early 90s. Like, they were just pumping them out.
Yeah,
just chugging them out.
just whacking them, just
a
big splurge of them, just pounding
it.
And
How many films are there?
there are
seven.
Right.
Child's Play, 1988.
So by the standards
Child's
of some
Play
of these movies,
291? Child's Play 392.
by the standards of some movies in a similar vein, not that many.
Yeah.
Compared to Friday the 13th or Hellraiser,
Yeah, Elm Street.
Elm Street.
Elm Street is only just slightly longer. There's 6 of them, then New Nightmare, then Freddy vs. Jason, and then the remake. But Child's Play's avoided being remade for the longest time. And mostly
Yes,
just
it's
'cause
also not had a remake, which a lot of the other sort of...
Yeah, now it's been on the cards since like 2007. But Don Mancini, the original creator, the guy who's the co-creator of the entire idea, the director of the 5th, 6th and 7th films, has very much fought for it, saying, look, this fan base exists. Cedar Chucky was the last theatrical one. It was a bit too more on the comedy side, and it didn't really gel with a lot of people. Some wonderful freaking animatronics work.
The effects work in the movie, in all the movies.
And some very nice dark comedy.
Yeah.
Just a little slip.
Like, all that stuff is so good and really creepy, and Billy Boyd plays a really sort of odd character that is either a really well handled or really insensitive take on people with gender fluid identities. I think it was meant with a positive.
I'm going to lean
turn,
towards
but
the
yeah.
latter.
Problematic.
It's problematic.
But anyway, so
Soy
Don
boy
Mancini
cook.
really pushed. Don Mancini really pushed the franchise continuing, and he eventually convinced Universal to let him carry on the franchise with the first DVD one, Curse of Chucky, in 2013, by saying to them, "Look, give me $5 million to make it and kickstart the marketing. $5 million." And they went, "All right. Okay, fine, whatever, there you go, go and do it. Straight to DVD, little thing." And in the first month it made 6-7 times that.
Yeah.
By the end of the year it made 25 times that, because people who loved the franchise immediately bought it.
Yeah.
It went to horror festivals a few months before it came out, so the word of mouth had spread that it was a really solid, really dark entry into the series.
Yeah.
And then of course Universal went, "Oh, go on, you can make another one." Then he went, "Great, 10 million.
Right.
So they gave him 10 million. In Cult of Chucky came out last October, and was great and twisted and weird and really experimental. Plays on the voodoo aspect of it all, more than the novelty side of it.
And left the series in a very interesting place going forward.
Now, as we talked about, I think it was last week on the show, maybe the week before, it's continuing as a TV series by Don Mancini, the director and creator, is heading up and show running Child's Play, which is a TV series.
Is that directly following on from Cult of Chucky?
Directly following on from Cult of Chucky,
Good.
but he also confirmed that the movies would continue as well.
Okay.
So the show would be 8-episode miniseries, then a film, then an 8-episode miniseries. The films can work on their own, but the show is the further stories of what's going on.
The bridging material.
Yeah, the series is the animated series equivalent of an in-canon thing.
This whole
British live
TV
action
to film back and forth is a tried and tested and proven method of doing a multimedia franchise. It really worked well for the Dark Tower.
Oh, no, but the difference here is though it's actually sort of being made. The films have been made, and there's been a couple, and Don Mancini's saying, "My condition is give me a low budget, because then you can't complain." And they're like, "Yeah, good point."
Christopher. It's not been made yet.
Well,
just saying.
Here's this week's news.
All right, what's this week's news?
MGM, the rights holders to Child's Play.
MGM aren't a thing anymore.
MGM and its shareholdery, people who own the subsidiaries and the different rights and everything.
Okay.
It still exists, because they're always involved in the James Bond discussions.
They're still in James Bond.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were still sold.
They hold the rights to Child's Play. For ages, if you bought a box set over the late 90s, early 2000s of Chucky stuff, you'd never find Child's Play 1 in the box set. They wouldn't allow it.
The whole Jaws thing, where you can't buy a box set with all 4, you can only buy the second.
Yeah.
You can only buy the original or the sequels.
Yeah, because Universal own it from number 2 onwards.
Yeah.
then the box set came out with Curse of Chucky that had Child's Play 1 in it, and then the most recent one, which Lou got for her birthday, she's adorable, contains the whole thing, all 7 movies in one box set. It's like, yay, this is great. They're all playing along. This is wonderful. No, MGM announced this week they're remaking Child's Play.
Oh no!
Good.
Don Mancini is not involved.
Good. I bet he's
And
really
is
happy
very
about
vocally. No, he's very vocally talking about it on Twitter, saying,
Yes, I bet he is.
"I'm not involved in this, and based on your reactions, you don't want this either, fans of the
Yeah.
franchise." So this is interesting, mostly because the premise is this: a group of teenagers find themselves in a life or death game when a high-tech version of a toy from their childhood goes on a killing spree.
No, that's not Child's Play. That's not what it is.
Oh, it's K9 gets a virus.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like the clues in the question. It's
death
child's play. It's child's play.
Yeah.
There has to be a child.
Part of the horror of the
centre
original is that one of the people very much in danger is 6-year-old Andy Barclay.
Right.
And the way the film plays out, I mean, spoiler alert, Chucky's alive, John.
No.
But the way the first film plays out, you don't get any confirmation of that for 59 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Like,
people keep on having terrible things happen.
Yeah, you see at the beginning, you see Charles Lee Ray, the serial killer, played by Brad Dourif, being tracked down by Chris Sarandon's cop, Detective Mike Singer.
Oh! So did they steal the plot for that for the Snowman movie, Jack Frost?
Possibly.
What the way are we talking Jack Frost the horror film?
Yes.
Yeah, the one where he gets melted by acid into the snow.
Yes, yeah. And Ginger Dead Man.
I've never heard that one.
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
There's a film called Ginger Dead Man, and he was voiced by Gary Busey.
Yeah.
One of his sequels is a crossover with another obscure franchise. It's called The Ginger Dead Man vs. Evil Bong. I'm not kidding. These movies exist. Evil
Bong.
An evil bong.
He is an evil bong.
And a murderous gingerbread man team up.
Or do they?
Well, that just sounds like me on a Saturday night.
Hey!
Evil gingerbread man with an evil bong.
Getting laid.
I don't know what that means. What you just said.
Fucking
Anyway, sorry.
To Steve Ditko. So, yeah. But
MGM making...
Yeah, so, but like in the original, they play off it for a while to the point where, aside from the opening scene with the is this guy doing voodoo? What the hell's he doing? Like, is he shot in the toy store and he just grabs the nearest thing and makes this chant, and then he's found dead.
Give me the power. I
beg of you. Ade Dewey Dembella. And you spend the majority of the film going, this is obviously going to be a living doll story. It's got to be. But to this credit, he never appears in the trailers moving. Ever. They never show any of that. Was never in the marketing. Even the original poster, which I think you've seen, it's the tower, the flat block of flats, the babysitter falling from the window, and there's just these eyes in the clouds.
Ooh.
And it's like,
moody.
Okay. And the tagline was, something evil has moved in with the Barclays. And you're just like...
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and you're like, oh god.
What was that?
And it's really,
88. That's so kind of post-Spielberg tagline. That's wonderful.
And it's nice and ambiguous. And then there's this wonderful moment toward Andy's been detained by his childcare people, and his mum, who's the main character of the film, is like just looking with the doll. She's like, he keeps saying the doll's talking to him and stuff, and you know, like,
and it is a talking doll, like the line of dolls.
I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
It has electronics,
and it's based like completely on like the Cabbage Patch Kids and that boom of stuff in the 80s. And basically, what is it? She picks up the box in the kitchen just to see if there's just something like, and the battery pack falls out of the box.
Yeah. So the batteries in the little plastic in the cling film.
That's very good.
Yes.
Yeah, so she goes back into the living room like really cautiously, and she picks this thing up, and she turns it over. And every character in the movie at this point is just handled it like you would a doll. Yeah. There's no like, oh god, it's just like da da da.
Yeah.
She turns it over, and she like sort of rips the Velcro off the dungarees at the back and opens the back, and opens the hatch, and there's no batteries, and the head turns round. And it's like,
it's great.
Oh god, and it's great. And then, but there's that moment where he turns, like where she drops it, she picks it back up, and she threatens to throw it in the fire. and it just suddenly, this cute little plastic face drops into the, really quickly. The animatronics work so good in that first one.
Yeah.
It just drops from this like face into this horrid scowl, and it just goes, "You fucking bitch, I'll kill you!" And you're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" Like, what the hell? It's great, and Brad Dourif sells it because it's just this horrible voice coming out of this thing, and then for the rest of the 25 minutes of the movie, you're seeing him just fully moving around.
Yeah.
It's a mix of like bits of stop motion and live actors and blue screened out backgrounds and everything, the chroma key to have him walking on a kitchen counter and stuff. Right. It looked great, and his face looks more and more human as it goes on. Okay, because the longer he's in the body, the more he's going to be stuck in there forever. Right. Okay. So he becomes more flesh and blood. Right. And can be killed. So it was only ever temporary, and he can only transfer his soul into the body of Andy. Like the first person he revealed himself to is the only person he can transfer into. Okay. So he's like, I'm going to be a 6-year-old boy. This is fucking hilarious. I can do this all over again. Like, I've been the Lakeshore Strangler for 20 years. I can do it again from scratch. It's like, oh, this is creepy. Yeah. And it's great. And the sequels are a bit more daft and self-aware because they know that he's a living doll. And like in the second film, it's like it's a two-hander. It's Andy's story and Chucky's story. And it goes between the two. And do you know what I mean? You spend as much time with one as you do with the other. And it's like, this is great. And Andy goes into foster care and all this stuff. And he finds him. And the third one's at a military school. There's a great thing with a paintball. If you can't tell, I freaking love these movies. Yeah. But the kid's a big part of it. And the setting, the 80s, Cabbage Patch Kids were a massive thing. You watch a film set in the 80s, you believe that kids are playing with dolls and playing with action figures. Yeah. If you did it today, it wouldn't work because you can't tell us film about a killer iPad.
You could try.
Or a murderous Musical.ly app.
The killer Fortnite.
Have you ever...
It's Fortnite, but the game is real.
You know, you sometimes like you're in bed and you watch something on your phone above you, and you fall asleep and you drop it.
Yeah.
I've done that with my iPad. Yeah. Oh. And those are 10-inch sheets of glass just on my... So you could have a killer iPad story.
Child's play.
I don't think it's the same thing.
Something evil is charging in the Gransden house.
Download. I don't know.
What if it just opens... There's a mouth on the screen that
parental
opens,
lock,
and then the glass cracks into these jagged teeth.
But it's like one of those, it's like a TARDIS effect, where it's clearly bigger on the inside than the outside.
You can see the back of the throat.
Yeah.
You can see it goes deep.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want you to make this movie, guys. Get to it.
I'll put it on the docket with Canna Baby.
Canna Baby.
And Terror Fried.
Terror Fried! Oh, we will start your low-budget horror studio. It's going to happen. So, it's just not the same if it's a bunch of teenagers running from a high-tech toy, but if you're not happy about this, if you're a fan of the Chucky films, if you watched our Chucky Watch thing last year and everything, go on Twitter. If you're not following Don Mancini already, go give him a follow, show him your support, let him know you don't want it either. Let him and Universal know that regardless of what MGM do, you want them to carry on with what they're doing as well.
Remember, the court mandates a distance of 20 feet at all times. So,
well, John, it's been fun, but I gotta go. I have a date with a 6-year-old boy, and you have a date with death.
Oh,
he stabs the voodoo doll.
So
and the guy who taught him all the tricks bleeds out in the kitchen. Really creepy. The voodoo stuff's the best stuff.
I hate it when I bleed out in the kitchen.
That's why a high-tech doll just sounds so stupid. It's like, no, it was voodoo. It was really creepy.
It's stupid to have him walking around with like a Transformers arm.
Yeah, it's like it was voodoo meets freaking commercial America, and it was so weird. And especially in the latest one, the voodoo goes crazy in the latest one.
Right.
Soul transference and all this stuff. It's so messed up. God, I love the recent one.
It's quite good.
Yeah, the charred up head of the original one being kept in a safe.
It's quite good.
And Andy brings it out every now and then, because Andy came back for the 7th one, the original actor, and he's got the head of the original from post-credits of the 6th one. And he brings it out of the safe like every night and tortures it for 20 minutes, and then puts it back in and locks it away.
Okay.
Because it's just cathartic.
Yes, I mean,
it's like, this is great. It's alive. Yeah. Like, it feels everything. And the way it looks, he's been like hammering nails into it and stuff.
Ooh.
And then gets drunk and depressed and gets stoned and shares a spliff with it. And it's just like, this is mental and I love it.
That sounds great.
It goes places, man. It goes places.
The modern version of that you would do, really, is like a mix between Small Soldiers and Funko Pop.
God, I love Small Soldiers.
It's almost like...
And Funko Pop murdering people would be frightening.
Yeah.
You're sleeping in this room tonight.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about
a room full of Funkos.
I've just noticed.
That's alright, there's more good guy Funkos than bad guy Funkos.
That's good. They'll fight for me.
Are they really?
There's a Hellboy's up there. He'll look after you.
Good going, Mr. Hellboy.
Are they...
Good going.
Does their good/evil
popular
allegiance
phrase
still apply
If they're
once they've been reanimated
yes, that's good.
or animated.
Well,
Can't
that's
reanimate
well.
them
I
'cause
would
they're
argue.
alive.
I would argue yes, because if we're going with small soldiers rules, the ones
yes.
that are
Yes.
actually pure of spirit will be good guys.
I am
Because I am Archer,
Gorgonites.
emissary of the Gorgonites.
Emissary of the Gorgonites. Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry.
Greetings, I am
Sorry.
Archer, emissary of the Gorgonites. Who are you?
I am
I'm
Archer.
Alan. Now shut up. Greetings, Alan. Now shut up.
I need to rewatch that.
I love
Small
that movie.
Soldiers is great.
I say it every time. It's Gremlins
It is
3,
Gremlins 3.
and it's perfect.
And it's very good. It's very good.
You've been a bad boy, and now you must be punished. Hiya!
Says a malformed Barbie with a razor blade for an arm.
Yes.
Voiced by Christina Ricci and Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah. And you got
Which one?
Kirsten Dunst.
Mary Kate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mary Kate and Ashley.
Mary Kate.
Yeah.
One role played by Mary Kate and Ashley.
Well, according to John Oliver, they are the same person and they're just moving really fast.
What are Mary Kate and Ashley up to now? Looking at
Nothing
Elizabeth,
as exciting as their younger sister.
looking at
apparently.
Elizabeth and going, oh man.
What's their younger? Who's their youngest?
Elizabeth Olsen,
Elizabeth
who
Olsen.
plays Scarlet Witch in the Marvel movies.
And Silent House and
Yeah.
Godzilla. And...
Oh yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Is she the one with the red energy?
Yes.
Yes, the Russian one. When she wants to
Well,
be. They soften the accent in Infinity.
well.
And she's go. Is she the one who's going?
I'm
out?
sorry, did you say soften the accent? I
Get
got rid of it completely.
Who the hell are you?
rid of
Oh,
it. Get rid of the
sorry.
accent.
Oh, the football.
bye.
Speaking of
ruined
softened
everything,
accents. Well, no, I was just saying, soften the accent.
Alright.
What? She's banging a robot. It's fine. Listen.
Hey, what?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's banging a robot.
Diamond Head.
There's been
Old Diamond Head.
No, that's a different Marvel character.
I can believe it.
You should, because it's true.
Comics. Oh,
Weird. He's a Nova villain.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Original note, Richard Rider.
Yeah.
Nova, yeah.
Nova.
Yeah. Yeah.
Diamond Head. Yes.
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 I've still not watched Luke Cage season 2.
I watched another episode of it the other day. It's
I
great.
just thought Diamond back and it reminded me.
It's great because I'm not rushing through it, and I think that
I did that with the first season. I
think
watched
that-
it over like 2 weeks.
I think that the series, Netflix series, not just the Marvel series, but Netflix series in general, even though they purport to make them to binge, I think they suffer from it.
Yeah.
And now that I'm taking
Yeah.
my time and stuff, I'm actually enjoying it.
It was
more.
fine when it was original, like, oh my god, this is new, a whole series in one day, let's binge it. And
But
it
now,
felt like
yeah,
it was essential.
You,
Now
you,
it just
you
kind of
feel like you have to get through it all
Yeah.
in
I
one,
gotta get
in like
through
2 weeks or in like a
Yeah.
week or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, I just want to watch it when I want to watch it, when I'm in the mood for it.
I think we've gone from let's all watch it in one go to just I want to watch it when I'm ready.
Yeah.
We did that with Stranger Things series 2, didn't we? We took our time with it and it was better for it.
Stranger Things,
I'm talking to the Russian football man, sorry.
The only reason I binged Stranger Things is because I was just so voracious for what happened next. Like that was a show where I was just like I have to keep watching this because it's just riveting. Whereas with the second season of Luke Cage, I'm just like I wanna be in this mood for an hour. So, this is what I'm doing now. Let's talk about emails.
Talk about them.
Yeah, we're not going to answer any of them or read any of them. We're just going to talk about emails.
Okay.
Emails are a form of
Alexander
electronic
Graham Bell
communication.
started the
Where you
electronic communication with the telephone.
You can send textual messages.
What kind of messages?
Textual.
Thank God.
Metatextual messages.
Can
Fair
you also
enough.
place images in there?
You
or-
can place images in there.
My goodness.
Even sound clips, links to web pages.
This is the future.
Yes, this
Tell
is
me
the
more.
feature. And you exchange them by means of an email address, which is a unique username that you create, and that exists at a certain domain.
Tell me, Mr. Watson,
So-
how much is one of these domains?
Well, you can get a free username
What? That's
On-
amazing!
on
For free?
on a domain owned by a company such as Microsoft or Google, so you can get your unique username at Gmail or at Hotmail, which is the Microsoft one.
NTL World.
NTL World.
Tiscali.
Sky.
AOL.
AOL.
iCloud.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that bit. Let's stop doing it. Oh, damn it. I'm just going to shift my massive arse and get comfortable. That's it. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Christopher. I hope the feeling comes back into your legs. This one comes in from Dan. Denzel Rawlingston.
Denzel.
It's his new name. He said, and the title is Never Eat Pears.
What?
Says
And never eat pears.
What's that mean? What's that in reference to?
what are your 3 favourite items in the Tat Cave? Mine are Chris, Matt, and the Wall of Sentient Wigs.
Oh, the Wall of Sentient Wigs!
That was from the... I need to ask about that, because I had no context for that when that happened.
Yes.
That was, like...
I'm not sure this context exists,
Why
really,
were
in
there
any
wigs
realm.
in your room?
I'm not sure. You know, they were at the time.
It
might have been, depends on how long ago it was. It might have been the Pennywise thing, but it might also... No, I think it was pre that, actually. I'm not sure. Can't remember.
Do you wear wigs?
It was in 9 is 10.
Oh, Christ alive. In that case, it possibly was a wig, because I had just had some stuff brought from my mum's that was mine, including a box of props.
Have you?
So I might have been elaborating based on a real thing.
I see.
Have I worn wigs? Yes. How many Naimons have you seen?
Will you wear wigs?
Yeah, I'll wear wigs.
When will you wear wigs?
What? When? And where? And why?
I should explain context for that.
No, don't.
No, because there's an Easter egg on one of the Return of the King DVDs, the extended version, of Elijah Wood being interviewed by Dominic Monaghan. Only he doesn't know it's Dominic Monaghan because he's behind the screen and he's doing a voice. And he's just asking Elijah Wood, do you wear wigs? Have you worn wigs? Will you wear wigs? When will you wear wigs? And it's just Elijah Wood getting increasingly wound up.
What?
Elijah Wood angry? Not angry, just like, what the fuck is going on?
Okay.
I can't picture Elijah Wood in a bad mood.
Yeah, exactly.
I was not in a bad
when
mood,
you
he's
said
just
that,
like,
I was like,
he's just like bewildered of what's happening.
When will you wear
When will
wigs?
you wear wigs?
Tell me, Don Miguel. Tell me of
El
El Diablo.
I don't know if you've mentioned it already. Because of course you don't, because you haven't listened to the podcast yet. That's how this time works. But pics of new DW figures have been released. So it's a range of figures based entirely on Arthur's little sister. Have been released. And they're figures, I guess.
It landed.
But
that took far too long. Oh.
If you could control the minds and hands and feet of the many people at Character Options Limited, what would you rather make? Goodbye, chickens! Denzel Rawlingston!
Is he... Sorry. I want to just congratulate you. Can I shake your hand on the Arthur reference?
Yes!
Thank you.
Please do!
Oh God.
So, Character Options are making...
Having fun isn't hard.
It's really not.
When you've got a library.
I hate that show. I hate that show with a passion.
What with its incredibly robust Christian morals?
I have stories to tell that I probably shouldn't say on a public forum.
Well, that's it for this week, guys. We'll see.
But yeah,
you gotta listen to your heart.
Is that in regards to like the ones that they were announced today?
Of
This
Jodai,
came in
White
like
Car.
nearly a week ago, so no.
Oh.
What was announced a week ago?
No, pics of new DW figures.
A week ago.
Is this like new
the
classic series
the
stuff?
pre-order went up for the 10-inch Jodie figure, which was revealed today.
Oh,
But there was no
right.
pictures.
Oh.
However, there were B&M sets announced recently, so it could be that. They're mostly retools. The only new figure is there's a Talons Tom.
Well, they're character options. So.
Yeah, Talons
Yeah.
Tom and a Bill Potts.
Yes, there's Bill Potts.
Which is a variant because apparently a collector's line Bill Potts is meant to be coming out this year at some point as well.
so it'll be a proper one for the...
And then this is a proper, but it's just I think this is Stan's jacket in like the stripy vest top, but there was meant to be one in like a jacket, like a denim jacket and stuff coming at some point. So
nice.
so basically we're getting a Bill Potts, two different Bill Potts at some point this year. Capaldi has the new head sculpt, but is in a red jacket, but still no hoodie or waistcoat, so it doesn't make any sense. The Matt Smith's a snowman, but we finally get an Amy Pond in a different outfit.
Hey!
But a bit late, really, when you think
I'm
about
so
it.
glad to have a new toy for a companion that left 6 years ago.
And a third Doctor and TARDIS, based on, I might be wrong, I think it's the Time Monster.
Time Monster.
It's got the black base.
Apparently that's only present in one scene, and people were debating whether or not it's just because there's a shadow on the base of the TARDIS.
Well, now it's canon.
In the toy range.
I'm happy for more Doctor Who toys in general, but I'll be honest, the only one I'm really looking to buy in the future is a 13th Doctor.
Yes.
Really, and stuff was announced today, like
But not an official character options.
well,
figure.
a character options figure, but it's a 10-inch tall one in cloth, cloth clothing.
Yeah.
She's like a dolly.
So like a Migo or a NECA
like a
style
Forces
one.
of Destiny.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, and it's a
also-
really cool likeness. So I hope
Yeah.
that they release it
that
in a
head sculpt.
5.5
Yeah.
scale.
It's exactly the right balance between stylized and accurate.
Yeah, I really hope we get it in the actual normal scale in plastic because it's really cool.
It's quite cool. I was saying earlier today that it reminds me as well of like those Tom Baker ones from the 70s.
Yeah.
Yes,
It fits in that line. So.
Very cool.
Which
Very
cool.
my dad's got one.
I
Of.
clapped.
Oh really?
I think he's got two.
Clapped when you
Actually.
saw
I
it.
clapped when I saw it.
He's got the TARDIS for it as well.
Clap
Oh really?
character
What's the
options.
button that
Yeah.
spins?
Clap
The
character
old
options,
Star
guys.
Trek
Clap
transport
character
style.
options.
I don't think
Clap
he's not got the
character.
Cyberman though.
I'll be honest, I kind of
Wheeler.
like the rock candy figure.
Is that the? Let's have a look. I think I've seen these before at Harley Quinn versions and stuff. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
quite
cool.
cool.
I'm waiting. Though there's two different renders of her, so I don't know which to go with.
You mentioned before, and I think this is brilliant. When you pointed it out, I was like, "You're right." Everyone's been given the same promo shot to work
Yes,
from.
everyone's
Yeah.
got the shot of Jodie Whittaker walking towards you on the Isle of Skye,
Yes,
and that's it.
that's all
Yeah,
they've had
The
to work
only
with.
pictures you've been like, even the Funko Pop, she's just doing the step
Dude,
Um,
the step.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
coat
with
billowing.
the coat. It's all the so. It's a radical picture, so I'm down with it.
Yeah, the coat is a good look,
It's a really good.
and yeah,
I'm not talking about it publicly, but my god, that
'Cause
looks
it's-
like a comfy coat.
but it also
Oh.
it's on a purely sort of like looking at it purely from a perspective of character.
Talk to me more.
Yes, it's a clown costume.
It's a clown costume.
Essentially, because it's the big pants that
Rainbow
are quite
stripes.
long enough.
Oh, so
and
she's
the
a bit more-
stripes
she's a
and the
bit more-
braces. It's the clown in the theatrical sense.
Yes.
So it's really fitting.
Well, I remember speaking
And-
to someone who I shall not name last year about Jodie's Doctor, and the word was that she was going to be much more action orientated, so much more motion
Yeah,
than
which
kind
I think is definitely appreciated
Yeah.
yes.
in this day and age.
So saying clown, I think that kind of
Yeah.
Sorry.
I imagine that there's going to be definitely an element of physical comedy to
yes.
the characterization.
I'll
which
tell you
the
this,
costume will play into
it's
because
the
of its layers and
it's-
billowiness.
It's the first.
Such.
It's the first Doctor we've had in a while where I've looked at it and gone, I would actually like to cosplay that. Which I know sounds weird, but I just mean because
No,
when you
everyone's aware of your proclivities.
when you know, but like when you cosplay, as I've only done like once or twice, but like when you cosplay in convention centres, you get warm as balls so
Yes.
quickly. She's got the cut-off jeans
Yeah.
like thing going on, and the coat is billowy, so you can have short sleeves underneath.
Yes.
That would be a comfortable cosplay.
Yes.
I would happily cosplay
It's-
the 13th Doctor.
If they release a male variant of that coat, I'll buy it. And that's
yeah.
the first time I've ever really seriously gone, I'm going to buy a Doctor's costume. Because it's like, that looks so cool and comfy.
I
and
was
love it.
tempted to buy Collins, but you know.
Oh, well, Billy's got one.
We're going to have to get that coat on you at some point.
Yeah.
It's a magical thing.
Well,
I've worn it at least once and then took it off because I was like, no, because I'll never take it off if I don't take it off now.
When
I'll keep it.
when I've stayed at Billy's in the past, he's sometimes gone away, and when he's come back, I'm just sitting in the living room wearing that. Or the pompous doctor jacket. I'm just wearing the doctor coats he's got, because I like big coats.
And he says, John, that's meant to
Please.
be in the wardrobe. And you go, I know, Billy, I know.
Well, here's the thing. There's a request at the top of this next email asking me to read it as Billy, as the Sixth Doctor.
Well, I can rate this.
Oh my god, this is true. That's wonderful.
I don't know if I can do this on demand. I probably can't.
Well, it's worth a try.
It's up here, and everything is a point to be made.
My, dears! And how are you this fine, frolicking evening? As last week was just random, I thought I'd ask some random questions which you can split up if you want to. Favourite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? Thoughts on 13 Ghosts?
What the hell?
The Ice Warriors or the Silurians? What do you think will happen in the next 3 Fantastic Beasts movies?
Jesus wept.
I've got 3 more of them.
If you had the powers of poison ivy, what types of leaves would you use to make your outfit out of?
Okay, that question went in a much nicer direction
Did
than
you
I would.
ever
Start out a bit
hear the
vague.
tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Jesus Christ.
How was the CBBC chair?
What the hell? Alright.
No penny.
Oh my god. That wasn't bad, actually.
No, you weren't too bad.
It just needs one of us to do a Crystal 12th Doctor
Hope
response.
I made you proud.
Did you see me do it?
It was my running music. It was my running
Listen, I listened to a Colin Big Finish the other day and I enjoyed it, so sue me.
I
sue
know,
me.
Matthew.
I know.
Think. Don't big finish and drive.
Favourite Arnold Braunschweiger movie?
Fake answer, Hercules in New York. Genuine answer, Predator.
What's the film where he's a retired hitman with his daughter? And
Commando.
I love it.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
Commando.
so good.
Because there's also that great shot at the beginning of the film where they're with, she's got
Yeah.
ice cream and she dumps it in his face, and there's a moment of
While action music.
and it's a montage.
And it's a lovely montage.
And-
our Russian friend really liked Commando when they first saw it.
Yeah, I really like Commando.
How many Russian thumbs out of 2 do you give Commando?
Russian
man?
thumbs?
Oh,
How much is a Russian thumb worth on the open
I'm not
market?
listening. Am I Russian? Okay, I do not know.
That's where it is. It's not coming home. It's in Russia.
It is. No, it literally is in
It
Russia.
is
As
actually
of this
in
recording,
Russia.
it's still in
Yeah,
Russia.
it-
Even if we'd won, it would still currently be in Russia.
We won't let it go. No.
Football isn't here, but that's okay. It's the taking part that's
That
important.
counts.
We did really well, and I say we, but we didn't participate. We just watched it. Yeah, we all talk like we took part.
Because it's a
It's
country
thing,
thing.
and that's
football.
football.
True
and
Lies is very
feet.
good.
Football
True
is a
Lies.
game of balls and feet.
True Lies is very, very
True
good.
Lies is great, actually.
And
yeah.
it's impossible to find on Blu-ray, and the DVD's out of print.
But they do exist. Lou found it the other day.
Blu-rays?
Not the Blu-rays, the True Lies on
Oh.
DVD.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
We found it. It does pop up on Amazon
Yes.
occasionally, so keep an eye out.
It's out of print, because I've been trying to
But
get
it's-
hold of
yeah.
it for years.
There's not been any newbies. We're
Right.
talking pre-2003 as well, so it's
And-
got the older
and
certificate on
and
it.
it's
Oh, wow.
also James Cameron. Like,
So why the
how
hell
many
is he not
films did
released?
James Cameron make? Like,
Yeah.
he's not got a huge filmography. Influential,
Yes.
but he's not made a lot of films.
Maybe
So
mostly
maybe put
bankrupt many
Yes,
companies, if he-
exactly. So why isn't it out on Blu-ray?
Because the money he was going to spend on making Blu-ray or DVD copies of True Lies went to paying for submarines and Avatar sequels.
I
Also-
prefer his submarines, not his avatars.
Also the sexiest Jamie Lee Curtis has ever been. And I don't say that lightly.
I do.
I could say Terminator and Terminator 2, but really that's kind of boring. It's somewhere between The Last Action Hero and True Lies.
I still need to see Last Action Hero.
Last Action Hero was very good.
I remember...
But it was completely destroyed by Jurassic Park at the box office.
Yeah, and I remember being told about it by Richard B. Brooks, and hearing about it going, that sounds great!
It's really good! It's a Shane Black movie, so, you know.
I've not seen Maggie yet, either.
Maggie's quite good.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
Because it's older Schwarzenegger really showing off his chops, isn't it?
It's pretty fucking good, actually.
It's the one where he says his daughter gets the zombie virus, isn't it? It's a post-apocalyptic thing, and he's just dealing with it. It's from like 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
It's set in a universe post the zombie outbreak, but it's been dealt with.
Right.
But there are still people who there are still zombies out and about, and people who contract the virus. There's no cure for it, but it takes a long time for you to turn. So there's like...
That's really interesting.
There's like camps where they send people who have the virus and things, and there's like, oh, it's really good. They take care of you. Well, like, no, it's like a concentration camp thing. So he's a farmer whose daughter gets bitten, and it's about him and her dealing with that and their relationship and.
Which is not what you think. Like, you hear that and you don't think Schwarzenegger movie.
No.
Who's I can't remember her stepmother, isn't it? She's also really good.
Mrs. Zombie.
Nesbitt.
Well, it's Abigail Breslin.
Her name is Mrs.
Nesbitt.
Can I just remind you? You forgot Kindergarten Cop.
Kindergarten Cop is very good.
You didn't mean to forget that.
It's very good, but it's not my favourite.
That is the best one.
Was he also He's the Mum or whatever it's called?
Junior.
Junior.
Sorry.
I've not seen Junior. He's the mum. He's the mum. I love it. That's what that movie should be called. He's the mum.
I thought it was called that, I'll be honest.
Let's start a new podcast called John Names Movies.
No, don't, because I think that's one of Billy's plans. But
okay, alright, cool.
Because as a tease for that, I've never seen Game of Thrones, but I have opinions on it.
Yeah, so, everybody does.
So I've seen enough to know key parts, but I've remembered it completely wrong. Like my own.
Yes.
You went Dorset then.
Yeah.
You described it.
I know.
You remember it completely.
I remember it completely wrong, and but we. So there's a thing called. It used to be called John Misremembers Game of Thrones.
I think we should name it John Fixes Game of Thrones.
But,
implying that it's broken.
It's broken.
It's broken.
Because I don't like it for no reason.
I just don't like it.
We're currently at the stage of like I've not watched it partly because it's so popular, which is the most hipless thing.
No, I've been there before. There are certain things where the more people lean into them, the more I resist.
Yeah.
Going on that train, going on that journey with them,
going on that coal train,
like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It took me a long time to get to Black Mirror, actually, because of that.
I'm still only 2 seasons in.
It's good stuff, though.
Yeah, I finally started Series 4 a month ago, and I've not carried on yet, so I should get on that.
We need to sit down.
I watched USS Callister, which was amazing.
We need to sit down and talk about Season 2 of Black Mirror at some point, possibly with a camera in front of us.
Possibly for a returning series.
Yeah.
Can I just say about USS Callister?
Yeah.
I didn't realise it when I watched it, and I loved it, and then I was looking at Doctor Who directors, as you do. And the guy who directed the Pandorica Opens, The Big Bang, and then also The Christmas Carol and the first 2 episodes of Series 6, that guy.
Yeah.
Cracking director. Does a great job on that run of episodes. He directed that.
You know, there's a Doctor Who reference in it that I think was accidental.
Is there?
Yeah. Amongst the toys in his office is a Krillitane without its wings. And based on the fact that it's amongst the other memorabilia from USS Callister, I think someone in the prop department just bought it, like probably secondhand or whatever, and put it out there as a but it's so recognisably that toy.
Oh wow!
That it took me out for a second, and then I was like, "Oh, maybe it's just a Doctor Who reference, and I'm overthinking it." I'm not sure, but
I mean, Charlie Brooker is
Charlie Brooker needs to write a Doctor Who.
Yeah, just one, just one. Just be like, Charlie, if you had a chance to write one story.
There was rumour...
We're telling you that it's this Doctor and these supporting characters. Go.
There was rumour
I would
was
watch that.
Meant to write either Series 9 or Series 10 an episode.
I mean, so many writers have rumoured or semi-confirmed.
I can't imagine Charlie Brooker playing nicely with Stephen Moffat.
Do you think?
I mean, J.K. Rowling was meant to write one at one point.
Yeah,
Stephen Fry did
wrote
write one, yeah, and then retooled it for the next series, and then it was pushed away again.
Right.
So Richard Curtis was always meant to come back to do another.
But then he said a thing about Grumpy Scotsman on Twitter.
Really? I didn't know that. Oh, that's good. Because that just makes me love Vincent the Doctor even more.
Yeah.
Because it's his, well, there you go. Screw what that bloke was saying to me. That's my entry, and it's clearly hands down the best story in that series. Bye, everybody.
It
Bye.
was when they cast Capaldi, he said something about Grumpy Scotsman.
Ah.
And Stephen Fry and Moffat had a public spat on Twitter, I think, when their time together on there. So, yeah. Anyway,
Good.
sorry.
Sorry, are we reluctantly answering?
Well, there wasn't even a
Doctor-related
question there.
topics?
We're going to get to that in a sec.
Oh,
But
Jesus
first,
wept. Oh, Jesus Christ. No.
Thoughts on 13 Ghosts.
I've never seen it.
What is it?
It's
I remember the poster, because the poster was amazing. It's the orange face made up of the different photographs, isn't it?
It's an early 2000s remake of a 1960s horror movie about a house which is haunted by the titular 13 ghosts. And you know it came out in the mid-2000s because the T and the E of 13 are replaced by 1 and 3.
Oh, yeah, yes, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I've just looked that up.
And it's Tony Shalhoub, I think.
Tony Shalhoub, hey, I'm Monk. I'm Master Splinter in the remakes.
And his family move into this place.
Monk.
And, yeah, it's weird. There is, the only thing I remember about it is that there's some really neat ghost designs. Because from what I remember, the ghosts were like suits, prosthetic suits, which were then in post made to look ghostly. Or like filmed separately and superimposed. Again, I've seen this film once. I could be misremembering it. The other thing that sticks in my mind is that there's a lot of this house is made of glass. Because the idea is like there's spells in the doors that hold the ghost captive. And at one point, a character gets trapped in between 2 glass doors and is bisected vertically through the side of his body.
Oh.
So the front of his body slides off the glass while his back is still attached to it. And it's one of those moments. It's the cut and it's the slice and fall moment that was very popular in like horror and genre filmmaking for the beginning of Ghost Ship.
And Resident... Yes, Ghost Ship.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ghost Ship and Resident Evil. Yeah.
That great bit where he's fighting the little go computer and then gets sliced.
Is that Colin Salmon?
I fucking hate that scene.
Really?
That was a scene... Not because it's not well done, but because it just has no place in a Resident Evil movie. That was the moment where I was watching that movie going, this isn't going to be what I like about Resident Evil.
Surely by the end of that movie, though, you'd realise it wasn't really a Resident Evil movie.
Yeah.
It's just Umbrella.
Which is why I never watched any of them after that.
All I remember really is the main like score.
Really?
I can't remember who did it though.
No.
All I know is it's one of 2 examples of husband and wife teams starring and directing and producing their horror movie franchise simply so that they can make movies together.
Underworld, which
Underworld
also
is
has a
exactly
cut
the
and
same.
slice moment at the end.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
With Bill Nye.
Bill Nye, the actor guy.
He gets cut and slice. He gets slice and fall.
Slice of dice
by this enormous sword. But there's no way that it could pass through his head without taking the top off. Like with it.
The little monkey top off.
So there's no way that you could like cut his head off and then have him blink and top of his head fall off.
The main theme for Resident Evil was done by Marilyn Manson.
Really?
Yes. And
it's
a really interesting little musical cue that I still rattles around my head.
Yeah, 13 Ghosts. Almost completely forgettable, but a guy gets bisected by a glass door, and that's the only thing that stuck in my mind.
I can imagine that sticking in your mind.
Yeah, those effects always stick in my mind. To the point, the one that goes out of Ghost Ship makes you feel a little ill. Like, I'm not usually like put off by gore, but that sequence just makes you feel a bit.
See, that one that you described sounds like one that would put me off.
Yeah.
The one in Ghost Ship, I don't really remember being
so OTT. I think the fact that it is so OTT just makes me go. Ugh. And it's not a particularly good film anyway, so whatever.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
The Ice Warriors or the Silurians?
We're talking about the monsters.
Or not the stories.
It doesn't
Because if it's
say.
the stories, the Silurians, hands down.
Yeah, I've not seen
the Ice
the Ice
Warriors is
Warriors.
very long.
I've not seen the
As
Ice
is
Warriors.
Silurians, but the Silurians is more going on.
But also,
And that ending.
And if we're talking about the monsters, it's still the Silent
Exploded them, they bloody shot them, they fucking blew them up. Brigadier,
Brigadier!
Brigadier, you shat on them.
You shit, Brigadier!
You absolute bastard. You know, I'm so unhappy with you, I'm going to make sure the title of this story has Doctor Who in it.
Have I told you about Adventures with the Wife in Space?
You have,
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
I've been reading that recently, and seeing her reactions to John Pertwee has been quite entertaining.
It's Neil Perriman.
Yes.
Of, yeah. Sorry, he had a podcast in like the mid to late noughties. What was it? Tacky on TV.
I don't know. I didn't listen to the podcast. But...
And that was an amazing podcast. That was fantastic. And they used to... They were like proto FiveWhoFans in a way. That's kind of where we got our shtick from, was just listening to that podcast.
I'm quite enjoying Adventure with the Wife in Space, so if you want to get on... The blog's going away in January.
Oh, they're getting... Oh, yeah. Well, they've got books now.
But yeah, because they've released it all as books. So the blog's getting taken down in January, so get on it if you have.
Interesting.
I'm going to pick up the books at some point.
Shame that thing they did for free won't be free anymore. But that's perfectly fine, because, you know, it's hard to make money in this day and age.
Ridiculously cheap.
Yes.
But yeah, seeing Sue Perryman's reactions to John Pertwee has been quite entertaining. Particularly at the end of Silent Wars. He's like, he's just been a dick to the Brigadier. he's just a posh Tory bugger.
I'm sure that rattled some fans.
What do you think? Oh, yes, she's not afraid of that. What do you think will happen in the next 3 Fantastic Beasts movies? Nothing I care about.
Nothing of consequence.
Because we
Newt
know where
Scamander will be shoehorned into a story about wizard terrorism.
Johnny Depp will probably be fired before it's over.
Yeah, Johnny Depp will be replaced, and
if by Colin Farrell, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I wish
because he was great.
And also, Dumbledore will never speak about his relationship with Grindelwald.
Despite the reason it being so painful for him to go after him is because of his relationship with him prior to the events of these.
But we won't talk about that because it'll upset the Christians.
Oh yeah, yeah,
and probably the Japanese.
How dare we upset the Chinese?
Definitely the Chinese market. Yeah. Oh no, Japan are a bit weird when it comes to sexuality in Western film.
Are they?
Weirdly, yeah. Only like in Western product. Mostly because I think they feel like it's wrong for them to do it, even though they're quite obviously open about.
Yeah, they have very interesting sexual content in media. I think
maybe it's because the majority of the Western stuff they've seen doesn't contain enough schoolgirls.
I can point them in the right direction.
They definitely need to watch City of Death. She's wearing what she's wearing.
Which apparently she had no idea was a fetish. Of course you didn't, Lala. Of course you didn't. You can't fool me.
Why? What's a wonderful butler? He's so
violent.
Yeah.
I fucking love that line. That's been rattling around my head since the box set was announced.
I love every single line in City of Death. It is so good.
I am right in thinking the story for that is that it was written in a weekend.
Yeah.
It's so good. Some of Doctor Who's best stories were written in a weekend. There's that and Midnight.
Because when you overthink it,
Midnight's so good.
You wrap yourself up in circles.
Yeah.
Midnight might be the best 10th Doctor episode.
There's one Doctor Who writer in particular that did that for 5 seasons. And then he overthought it for 5 seasons and then never ended up getting round to addressing the questions that were raised in the very first one. So
the question he's been running from all his life.
The interesting thing is as well, he seems to be watching the interview he was doing with the fan show before that vanished. Was the thing that he said about he said a thing about, me and Mark talk about deferred pleasure. Which is weird, because you think about his first season and everything, and also River Song, who's a character that you will learn about more later. Mm. And he's like, we talked about deferred pleasure, and we decided, what's the point in it? So that's why we started putting the Daleks in the series openers and stuff like that. It's like, there's no point in building up to a story.
No. When
you can tell it right now. And what? But
that was your whole thing.
That was your thing.
That was your whole thing. And it never landed.
No.
It never landed.
So now he's claiming he was anyway, sorry.
Further reading. H. Bomber guys, Sherlock is garbage and here's why.
Yes, and also his review of Twice Upon a Time.
Yes.
Fucking Sherlock.
Which is pretty wonderful.
If you had the powers of Poison Ivy, what type of leaves would you use to make your outfit out of?
Big ones.
Dock leaves, because I have very sensitive skin.
big ones, I'm presuming, to cover up the extremities.
Yes.
Okay.
Aloe vera.
Or just to keep you warm as well.
Palm, but only from the waist down, so I look like a hula girl.
Oh,
Good. Very good.
Roll like a hula like Hawaii.
Has there ever been a hula girl poison ivy look?
There will be now.
Seems like a missed trick. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
that's
Yes,
Star
apparently
Wars
he
reference.
could. Apparently he could alter the
Could
midichlorians
influence the midichlorians
to create.
life.
Do it.
I'm basically saying that Anakin is evil space Jesus.
Yes.
Is what he's saying in that
Yes.
moment.
Thoughts on Von Hartman from season 2 of Doctor Who?
What a random question.
That's Tracy Ullman, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Tracy Ann Oldman. Fabulous.
In
Should be
Army
in
of
all the
Ghosts.
things. I did it for
she's
my
the-
Queen and Country. I did it for
Yeah,
Queen
she's
and
the
Country.
Torchwood.
I did my
boss
duty for
in
Queen and
Army of
Country.
Ghosts and Doomsday.
Oh, ha!
Yeah.
AKA Mrs. Purchase.
Mrs. Purchase!
She's alright.
I'm not fussed about Yvonne Harmon. I think she played the part wonderfully and was very a great example of the supporting characters and one-off characters in Russell's era being really good and fun.
Yes.
She was and as cheesy as that. I did my duty moment when she's a sideman is. It's kind of cool because it's like, oh god, so it
She's
can
a
go
well-known
wrong.
prostitute.
she
Everyone
can
in
fight.
London knows that.
If you are strong enough willed, you can fight the conversion,
Cyber conversion process.
which was then done again and a little bit too naff and on the nose with James Corden crying over a baby.
And also
Christ,
the cyber brig.
Also the Cyber Brig,
and Danny
Cyber
Pink.
Brig, and Danny Pink Brig, Cyber Brig, Danny Pink, Cyber Brig,
Danny
Cyber-
Briggs.
Danny
Danny
Brig.
Briggs.
Danny Briggs.
What a great way to honour one of the late stars of this great show and one of the most beloved characters in its history. We'll make him a Cyberman!
Not to mention how that was handled at the end of Series 6, which was brilliant.
Oh.
Up until it wasn't.
I didn't mind. In Series 6, I thought it was wonderful because it was a way of acknowledging the passing of Nicholas Courtney in real life and using the Brigadier as a motivation to make the Doctor go, I need to stop running and actually face this. And it was like, that's kind of cool in
That's
a way.
wonderful. But then 10 minutes later, he doesn't face it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds right.
He cowards out.
He comes out.
And then Moffat wheeled the Brigadier out several times. Once,
Yeah, because-
literally in a Cyberman
Because he knew
outfit.
it went well. And there's that bit where they're on the plane. And there's a painting of Nick Courtney on a plane. The Doctor salutes it.
Just... no.
Do you know what would have been less egregious,
No.
weirdly? Had we briefly just seen Kate Stewart's lock screen, and her lock screen was like a picture of younger Kate Stewart with her dad.
That would be nice.
That would have
That
been
would've
like,
been really
oh, that's
nice.
really sweet. And a very modern way of going, of course, the daughter of a character who was in the 70s stroke 80s would have a photo of them together when she was a kid on
Also,
her phone. Like, that's a
way
sweeter
too
way of doing
subtle.
it.
Way too subtle.
For Mafia.
Because you need to sledgehammer that shit in,
You know-
so the fans get it and they have shit to screen grab on
That was in not Dark Water, Death in Heaven, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's one scene in that I really like, and it's the Missy Osgood bit on the plane.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's wonderful.
It's really creepy, and then it's destroyed by the fact Osgood's back next season.
Yes, yeah, oh, yeah.
And it's like, oh, for God's sake. Well, no, because one of the, she's a Zygon, one of them's a Zygon.
The
It's
interesting
like,
thing about Osgood, which is like, Osgood was introduced into the 50th to be like a fan surrogate.
Yeah.
To be like, here's you meeting the Doctor on his birthday. Have
Yeah.
a good one. And then in the following
See
year,
that, kids?
in the following year when Moffat was bored of the show or whatever he was doing whilst running it,
Yes.
decided
to tell the stories about the silence and all this stuff, but I had to rush it because Matt was leaving. So
screw you. So instead of So he decides to bring back your this fan surrogate, you, and kill you.
and then turn you
And
into a
it's good,
pretentious
it's real
clone character.
But then, yeah, it's now you're a pretentious clone character and you're annoying. And
yeah, because an Osgood dies in that scene.
Yeah.
But then we find out that was a clone. Is that how that works?
No, it was either the real Osgood or the Zygon Osgood.
but we never know, and we're not meant to know.
Oh, that's it. And then there's another second Osgood
The issue is the show presumes we care.
in the Zygon 2 part from Series 9 because that was the Clara one that turns into another Osgood or
Who
something.
was called Miss Perfect.
Because they talk about Osgood's prettier sister or whatever. Because
Oh, that's in-
so
Oh, but that's in in Day of the Doctor.
yeah.
And it's used by the Zygon to scare her and
Oh,
intimidate her.
right, okay.
But then they do bring it up again later.
If you read the novelisation, however, he does a very interesting job with that. He does some very interesting, what Moffat kept doing is changing the narrator. So you're never quite sure what's happened, even though I've seen the 50th 100 times. It just keeps on shifting focus, and it's really anyway.
That's kind of an interesting way to do it.
Yeah.
Something they've been coy about,
Rose is really
and
good.
something
That's
that
the one
I
I've
haven't,
read. That's really
something
good.
which I didn't notice until I was looking over the Daemons yesterday.
Yes.
Not yesterday, a couple of days ago when I was
The Diamond's.
the
Arnold Schwarzenegger's favourite story.
The unit technical guy in the Daemons is called Osgood.
Yes.
But they've never really been concrete about whether they're related or not.
That's how you do it. You just don't reference it, and you let fans who watch it all go, "Oh, hang on,
I recognise that name."
Yeah.
To the point where I'm not even sure if it was intentional.
Like they did with Malcolm in the 50th. And I think you got mentioned a few times.
He gets mentioned, the Ravens.
Yeah.
The Batmans are
Fritz
but also
again
when
or
she
something.
rings up the person and says, Malcolm, I need files on unit 70s or 80s, depends on the thing. And it's like, brilliant, you've just done 100 references in one that also makes sense for everyone else. It's like,
Wasn't
But
I'm
I'm
sure
from
I read
1980.
I'm sure I read somewhere that wasn't. I'm sure I've read somewhere. Wasn't Malcolm meant to be in the 50th?
Probably.
They just couldn't make it work.
originally he was actually meant to be Osgood.
See, that would
The
have been
Osgood
lovely as
character.
well, because it's like, oh, that was a character that we all thought would be really naff, but turned out to be one of the things we remember fondly from that story because it was such a weird little inclusion.
And it's just Lee Evans being a bit wonderful.
Being Welsh.
Yeah.
Well, Lee Evans is alright.
Yeah.
Next one.
Is that
Oh, how was the CBBC chair?
which one?
Who
There were
is the
several.
CBBC chair?
Who is...
Why is the CBBC chair?
Whime is the CBBC chair.
Whime. Well,
What tense?
there were several. One of them was terrible. The first
It would
Salford
have
one
to
was
have
awful,
had
and we
to
had
be.
to get rid of him because the back was really stiff and horrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I blame that chair for the weight gain I had over 4 years because I essentially had a desk job. Because you had to stay sat there pretty much for the majority of the afternoon for rehearsals and for the shots.
Yes.
You couldn't move. So for hours at a time, I would just sit there and drink tea and drink Red Bull and just sit there in that chair getting fatter and
What about
fatter and
biscuit?
fatter whilst a man sat between my legs.
Oh.
You're selling this to me, Chris. I'm not going to lie.
on?
Yeah.
This next one comes in from Sean.
Oh. Yeah.
He says, "Hello,
Hello.
big damn boys."
And me.
I guess you.
It's weird. It's amazing he put that. And John, he wrote that down. He wrote that down there. It's incredible.
After listening to you last week talking about DC Universe, which is a terrible name because the name is used in multiple ways. It's the name of an MMO, the streaming service, and the general universe of DC Comics. Anyways, it made me want to look up the video streaming services available in the UK, and there is not a lot you need to pay for if you just want a full TV selection. If you have a TV licence, the 5 major free catch-up services, BBC, ITV, C4, C5 and UK TV, and TV Player or Now TV, that should be enough to get most of TV.
Well, especially because BBC recently have actually started to go back into comedy and things and put quote-unquote box sets on there.
Yeah, the complete Doctor Who collection's on there now.
Yeah, only on there till the end of August or
I
something.
think it's all on Netflix now as well.
It's
well,
until November.
Oh, right.
The
okay,
new
that's
series,
good.
anyway.
But what's weird about it is they're not box sets. It's just preset playlists. So they change the first episode's thumbnail into like a box set design. And it's really confusing when you actually look through everything. You're like, what the fuck's going on here? It's really weird. Because the rest of the thumbnails are the ones from like 2006 and stuff. It's like, what is this? But yeah, as long as you remember where you're up to, it's easy to get back in and hit play again. But yeah, okay, fair enough. That's quite a lot of options for 112 quid a year, whatever it is.
But all the other OTT streaming services, except Netflix and Amazon Prime Video, are specific to certain content, such as anime, Crunchyroll, Funimation, wrestling, WWE Network, ICW On Demand, Demand Progress, Accent Defiant, and others with non-localized pricing. Comedy stand-up, which is next up. Indie films, which is Mubi, BFI Player, and various others on Prime channels. And sports, Eurosport Player, F1 TV Access, UFC Fight Pass, Box Nation, NFL Game Pass, and NBA League Pass. Also, we should mention about Amazon Prime channels. Have you seen these?
No.
They are streaming services within streaming services.
Oh, so they're doing like cable subscriptions through Amazon Prime.
Yeah, you have to have Amazon Prime, and then you can pay an extra subscription for certain channels.
Death by 1,000 streams.
Yes, and of course it's coming from Amazon. Also,
I'm gonna have to watch all the Tick before they put it into a different
I did.
category. aren't I?
Don't use that. Also, I did find a Disney UK only streaming service called Disney Life, which I feel would be the basis of the US international talks about streaming service.
Yeah, it's been like the
basically.
tester that they've rolled out over the last couple of years.
It's aimed at a much more family audience with films from Disney, Pixar, and a few from Touchstone and Buena Vista, like Sister Act, Confessions of a Shopaholic, Real Steel. Almost all the Disney Channel TV shows and the shorts from Disney and Pixar, along with music from Disney films and Disney-owned record labels, and a 10% discount from the Disney Store.
All I know, because I tried it, I had this free trial because I wanted to watch all of Gravity Falls on there and Wander Over Yonder, which you can't buy for love nor... Well,
Wander Over
I
Yonder.
think Gravity Falls has recently had like a big.
they've got a
collection,
box set
hasn't it?
coming out in the States.
I've come across...
Most Blu-rays in the States though are region free.
Ah.
This is region locked on contract with I'm importing it anyway because be damned am I missing out on all the extra features that are piling onto that. So, but the issue is as well in the UK. What I noticed is that all of the stuff that was on Disney Life from the Disney Channel shows was what was already available on like iTunes and Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And those are not the actual original versions. Those are the ones that have been sped up by 1.5% to be broadcast on Disney UK channels because they think kids are not going to sit long enough.
Really?
Yeah, so they speed up all the shows, which means everyone's voices is annoyingly pitch shifted. They recently fixed it with the UK Gravity Falls on iTunes because they had to replace comedian Gingerbald comedian. He had a beard and he was bald.
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. He was in Gravity Falls. They replaced his voice
because he's a dirtbag.
Because
rightly so. And but as a result, that's updated the version of Gravity Falls within the UK. Anyway, the problem with Disney Life is a lot of the things on there. It's basically what you can get anywhere else anyway, and it's not a complete collection. So it's not quite worth the money.
Oh, also...
Maybe they're doing that on purpose to hold out for this new streaming service, so that they'll be like, oh, all that stuff you wanted, yeah, we got it now.
I think something else that came out this week
We've got to have...
about the DC Universe streaming service.
Oh, yes.
They're doing HD Batman the Animated Series.
Cool. I bought the complete DVD box set the other month, I don't care.
I'm waiting.
I've got it now.
Also, the thing is, I'm
I
not
had it
sure...
on Amazon, now I've got it with bonus commentaries. I'm happy.
Similar to the Classic Who Blu-ray release that just came out, I'm not sure how much improvement you get from putting hand-drawn animation from the 90s onto Blu-ray.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to get some improvement. I get that because it's uncompressed video at that point.
Well, I would
The
say
soundtrack, maybe.
I would say you get soundtrack improvement, but also it's not digital or video. It's film. So it will clean up like
of course.
Sean Pertwee's first one.
So animated series, if it was on film, that would make more sense.
So
rather than
you'll
it being
actually get very
videotaped,
crisp.
How's Transformers the movie, for example? The Blu-ray version of that. How does that look?
It's pretty fucking great.
It'll be like that,
Yeah.
and like you'll get just the stronger blacks and the stronger purples and the colours. So actually, I reckon that would be pretty sizable.
Okay.
Uncompressed video.
Especially
It's
for
good.
New Adventures of Batman and Robin as well. New Batman and Robin New Adventures, because the later style that matched with Superman the Animated Series looked really nice. They better finally get around to putting Superman the Animated Series out in its entirety as well, because that was incredible.
It's on Amazon.
We've
We've got to pay for it. Oh, and I should probably ask a question. Is there anything you are interested in or hoping to come out of SDCC? Doctor Who trailer. Doctor Who trailer.
Oh, and the official version of the clip, which
Yes.
I presume was meant to be sent there.
And hopefully slightly longer as well would be nice.
Would you
Like
want it to be a longer
more.
version?
Just a bit
I
more
would
at the
think
beginning.
that
More at the
wasn't-
beginning would be nice. A little bit more at the beginning.
I would think that wasn't all they were going to show. Because it's like just over a minute.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
I would have thought it would have been that clip, and I would have said they'd have shown the clip as a whole exclusive,
Yeah.
and
then the trailer.
which would after it dropped in there would be dropped in the across the social needs.
Disney aren't doing much at SDCC
They
this
don't
year.
need to,
It's
do
not.
they?
It's not because of D23, but I think it's just because it's been the summer
That's
of
the thing
Marvel, for example. I think they're just going, we'll hold off now, and then probably later in the year, maybe NYCC.
That's the thing with SDCC.
They'll go, boom, here's like the lineup that we've now got planned. Because obviously we've now come to the end, as of Captain Marvel and Infinity War Part 2 next year, we'll have come to the end of the lineup from 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember reading that in this room Remember, it came through, it was just like, oh my god, look at this!
Because they did the Captain America Serpent Society fake out.
Yeah.
And then the Captain America Civil War reveal.
Yes.
Was
pretty
Serpent Society, was that a different...
So basically, when they had the big conference where they revealed all the upcoming Marvel movies...
Because at this point we knew about... No, this was pre-Batman v Superman, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, this was pre-Ant-Man even, I think.
Yeah.
Age of Ultron
was out at that point.
I think it might have been just after Ant-Man, because that was when they confirmed that Ant-Man was in Phase 2 with the previous releases.
And then it was when they announced like the Phase 3 slate and stuff.
Right.
But before they had Spider-Man, so they hadn't announced Spider-Man yet. And it was when they announced...
Captain America Civil War.
But they said Captain America Serpent Society.
Okay.
At the beginning. Like the press conference was apparently going to be about the next Captain America.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, the next set of Marvel films.
Yeah.
And they talked about that, then they revealed Thor, Ragnarok,
Black
Panther, Captain Marvel, Inhumans.
Guardians Volume 2.
Back when Inhumans was
that was going to be a film, wasn't it?
Yeah, Guardians Volume 2.
Guardians Volume 2.
Because at that point they confirmed that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was the placeholder title.
Yeah.
And then during production, James Gunn was like, I actually really like this title. So they went, fine, that's the name of the movie.
And they also confirmed Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and 2.
Right. Because at the time it was just called Part 1
yeah.
and 2, wasn't it?
And then after that, the whole Sony thing came, and then they turned around and said, actually... It's not Serpent Society. They brought out Robert Downey Jr. on stage and like Chris Evans and all that. Actually, it's not Serpent Society. It's boom, Civil War.
Okay.
And the crowd blew their load.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was like, oh my god, that beloved comics event is about to be turned into a film. Kind
Right.
of. And it was pretty damn sweet.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, I still would like to see the Serpent Society pop up in a movie.
Yeah. And that's
I think we said they should pop up in the Squirrel Girl film,
Yes.
didn't we?
Squirrel Girl versus
Big
Silver
scary
Surfer.
terrorist group versus Squirrel Girl.
Yeah. Starring Rachel Bloom.
Sorry, Blue, with musical numbers.
But yeah, I
Listen to episode 87 or whatever it was.
don't think the big news comes out of SDCC anymore. I don't think that's what it's for anymore.
I think just snippets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think TV and things happen more there.
Yeah.
Sony's panel I'm curious about.
We'll probably get some Game of Thrones stuff at SDCC.
Yeah, because they've wrapped, haven't they? Sony's what I'm curious about because of Spider-Verse.
Yep.
And because the fact that the last trailer teased that San Diego, that Comic-Con would be the reveal of more information.
More Spider-Man, by the way it was said.
Well, this past week, we found out that Spider-Man Noir will be in it from the timeline where Spidey's in the 30s and it's more gritty, and that Nick Cage is voicing him. So, fair enough. Okay. I'm down with that. I'm more of a Spider neighborhood protector.
Nicolas Cage.
So I'm kind of cool. I'm down with that, but I'm curious to see if there's more Goosebumps. I want to see any final footage they've got for the House with the Clock in its Walls, which again is an upcoming Sony one that's based on a popular kids book, starring Jack Black and Kate Blanchett.
Eli Roth's
all
first
spooky and Doctor Strange in it.
adult horror film. Like it's not a crazy gory horror film. It's an actual family film from Eli Roth. So that's
the director of the Green Inferno and Hostel.
Which I've seen Green Inferno now.
Yeah, you mentioned.
It's not very good.
Of course, it's not.
It's not very good. Some of the gore effects are very
It's about
impressive.
Peter-esque activists
It's
going to
not
a
very
tribe
good.
and then getting eaten by the tribe.
And there are some. It's so
backwards.
It's so tongue in cheek.
Oh, good. Okay,
That it's nearly choked on its own tongue.
Oh, right.
Like that. That's how tongue in cheek it is.
More game reveals, really.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have
Spider-Man's out in September, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it September?
Yeah.
September
7th?
14th, I think it is. Yeah, because it's the
game,
one.
sorry.
It's the
Yeah.
one game.
No.
It's the one game this year that I actually want to buy on release.
Yeah.
And I'll have less than a week to play as much of it as I can before I go away.
I think it's one of the few things that'll pry me away from Warframe.
Yeah,
That
you
isn't
looking at
Adventures in
Warframe,
Backlog
right?
game.
I'll tell you what. I'll be happy if we are fucking broken, Chris CXE.
Chris.exe has stopped working.
Yeah, oh god.
Send book report.
What was it? It was Spider-Man-ish related, maybe. Was it Spider-Man? Oh god. Game news.
Venom.
Fuck no.
Silver and Black.
It'd be nice to see an aimed at American and Western audiences edit of the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer with completed lip sync would be nice.
That'd be interesting.
Just to actually see what it looks like without it. Because here's the thing, that trailer at E3 was like void of sound effects and showed off what the games are really like in the cutscenes, which is boring and overtly sentimental. However, it would be nice to see more cutscenes in a trailer where it's just, here's frickin' Rapunzel, and here's Wreck-It Ralph, and here's some more pirate stuff, and here's Big Hero. Show us San Francisco. Show us the San Francisco level.
Do you think we're going to get superheroes in Kingdom Hearts 3?
No, but Big Hero 6 is in it, so they're dabbling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like, show us some of that. And show it with the lip sync done properly, and some actual sound effects. Because that E3 trailer was hilariously terrible.
I haven't actually watched it yet.
Visually, it's stunning.
Yeah, I've seen.
But it's just really bad trailer. It's just, I remember Organization 13. I'm going to talk about the heart, and the heart is what connects you. Ha ha! You are friends. Ha ha!
The kingdom of thereafter.
Ha ha!
I've got a theory.
That it's a demon. A dancing demon. Oh, wait, something isn't right there. I've got a theory.
Kingdom Hearts was never good. We were just younger.
I have a theory. Kingdom Hearts was good in the sense that it was a breath of fresh air because it was a Final Fantasy style action RPG that wasn't turn-based and so was more kinetic and frantic.
Yeah. Also Disney.
And that was a nice change of pace, plus the Disney was a really fun inclusion.
Yeah.
And then the second one refined it, and then it buggered off and had a million spin-offs, and now I don't care about number 3, really.
I think
But I still want to see the animation, the finished animation of it all. I want to run around Andy's room and stuff and all that. Like, that's what I'm excited about. But not the freaking storyline. I really hope you can skip cutscenes in this one.
Interesting.
If you can skip cutscenes that are just Organisation 13 based, I'm going to do it to every single one.
I need
Sora, the Keyblade is unlocked by your heart, and I'm going to destroy you and your friends and your heart. And they're kind of just like, oh,
the Johnson
bye now, story, bye. Oh, wow, here we go. It's a Tron level. I'll watch this. Here we go.
The Johnson cut.
Oh, look, we're back in friggin' Tarzan. I'll watch
Kingdom
this.
Hearts 3. This one comes in from George.
Hey, George!
Return of the Jorge.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. Greetings, Boffin Donut Celebration.
Send an email.
Hope you have had a wonderful week. Following on from your brilliant support last week, I can tell you that this week, me and my mate will be recording our first podcast.
Hey!
Next week, we will send you the link and would love to hear your thoughts.
Beautiful, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Big shout out to Guy Lambert this week for not only showing his support, but also for having in-depth Doctor Who conversations with me and introducing me to the Horns of Nymond for the first time. I bought it soon afterwards.
Oh.
But what about the horns?
Was Nymon in the Monsters and Myths box set? With Underworld and the Creature from the Pit? Or am I wrong?
It's Creature from the Pit, wasn't it?
Not Creature from the Pit. No, it's a John one in there.
Time Monster.
Time Monster, yeah.
I think it might have been, you know? Yeah, it must be.
Yeah, because Horns at Nymon was like the reason to buy the box set out of the 3, because the other 2 are just like, Nymon's like,
I've never seen Horns of Nymon, so...
I've not seen it. All I know is how many Nymon have you seen today?
0 for Matt.
And I don't know what that means, but it's funny to me because it's been said so many times.
London, 1965. I had a couple of reluctantly asked Doctor Who questions for you. What is your favourite Doctor Who game or expanded universe novel?
Destiny of the Doctors.
Which classic?
Catch up, Slowpoke! Get down!
Off you go, later on.
Have you seen the Doctor Who poops?
Not the one with that. No, oh my
No,
God.
they did a series. They did a series of them, and one of them is Danny Pink, and he's on the phone to Clara at the start of Dark Water or whatever it is, and then you hear over the phone, "Get a move on, Slowpoke!" Beep beep. And then it cuts to the master driving away, going, That's wonderful.
Oh God, which would make sense. It was all part of the master's plan.
Master's grand plan.
It just took her too long to get to the main bit, but she was planning it well in advance.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree.
What is your favourite Doctor Who game or expanded universe novel? I don't have a favourite Doctor Who game because they're all shit.
I enjoyed. Was it Evacuation Earth on the DS?
No. That's the weird thing where they did a deal with Nintendo.
And they did 2 games. They were a joint story, which was Evacuation Earth on DS.
But it was a sequel to or companion narrative to The Beast Below.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
bizarre.
Yeah, and they also tied into elements of later Series 5 as well, because of Silurian stuff in Evacuation Earth.
Yes.
Because as the humans were escaping, the Silurians were rising to the surface.
Yeah.
And then in Return to Earth, you came back, and there had been a Dalek invasion of Earth in the new duration, which was the Wii game, which I've only ever seen footage of and is god-awful.
And the Daleks aren't voiced by Nick Briggs or anyone who knows how to do Daleks.
Yeah, it's really, and Amy Pond and the Doctor are Karen Gillan and Matt Smith. And it's in that early period where I love Matt Smith, I adore him.
Yes,
he elevates terrible material. He, at least at that point, I've not listened to him at any stuff in the last year or two, he couldn't voice act for shit.
Yes, he was still very shy in front of a microphone.
Which is odd, because he was such a wonderfully physical and energetic performer in front of a camera. So playing the DS game was nice. I used to play it on the tube and I had my headphones in, because it was one of those few games where I really wanted to listen, because all the dialogue was performed by those two. So it was like, great. And Karen would go hell for leather, and Matt would sound really timid. It was like, what the fuck am I listening to?
The thing that shocks me is they made a Doctor Who thing and they couldn't get Nicholas Briggs to be in it.
They probably could, but they probably, considering the budget was spent on two of the stars of the show, which they were probably paid.
He likes being on Doctor Who so much he made his own Doctor Who thing.
They were probably paid pittance. Like Karen and Matt were probably paid next to nothing on these things as just part of their overall deal for that first year. But that says to me that it was probably just people working at the studio filled in to do the rest of the voices.
Simon sounds pretty bad as well. I'd say the best Doctor Who game is Lego Dimensions.
Yes!
If anything, it's the best. It's the best Capaldi story of 2015.
Yeah, we played a bunch of that. It's pretty
we completed it, didn't we? And then afterwards, I think I finished some of the extra bits.
I was crying laughing watching YouTube play that. Oh, honestly, the bit when you were playing as Hartnell and he grew and you're like, oh goodness, it's goodness me, no bloody massive. It really made me laugh.
It's just the fact that like I'm watching Captain Jack teach an oud a song. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't hate this. This is really fun.
It's lovely.
And dumb and wonderful and stupid. And some of the little Easter eggs in this are great. And oh, God. Yeah, Lego Dimensions is the best Doctor Who game. Yeah, hands down.
Have either of you dived into much of the Expanded Universe novels?
I guess we're not talking about the targets. We're talking about Virgin New Adventures.
The targets, no, because the targets do expand some of the stories, but they're
adaptations. I remember really enjoying the 8 Doctors from the BBC Books range.
Yeah, I remember enjoying that.
And I really like. I've only ever read a couple, but I really like some of the stuff from the Eccleston year, just like the 6 books they did.
I read the first
Doctor.
Trio of them.
Monsters Inside is really fun. Yeah. That introduces the Blatherine. And describes them to a T, so when they then rocked up in the Sarah Jane Adventures, it was like, oh my god, I love how close Russell is looking after all of this. This is so great.
The world all kind of...
And Woman Wept, is referenced in Boomtown, and it's from that book, and which was a Slitheen story, and it's like, this is great. And the Monsters Inside makes sense, because it's about a prison, and also Slitheen hide inside things. Yes. And it's like, this is great, this is wonderful, and the voice of the Ninth Doctor is captured so well. And
yes, I remember reading one which was one where they go to a planet and like entertainment is outlawed.
Oh,
and the cover is basically like a city with energy flying through it.
Yes, yeah, I can't remember the name now. I can picture it.
But yeah, and I remember being so invested in that when I got home, I was reading it on the taxi home from school, which makes me sound very posh. But
it was quicker than the boss.
It was a private bus set up for dyslexic children. I was getting
with deep ums.
We got back home. I went into the living room, said hello to my mum in the kitchen. In the living room, TV was on, and I just went, "Oh, well, be careful, Mum, you get arrested for that." And then realised, no, wait, that's the fiction of the book I was reading, not reality. And it was the first time ever I'd been so engrossed in a
book
world
that you
more so than like Harry Potter and stuff, which was hugely influential. So I would say the Stealers of Light or whatever it was called.
I've had various dances with various Doctor Who book ranges.
Yeah.
It used to be that the only Virgin New Adventures book I had was Time Worm Exodus. I had a copy of that, and I read that thing from front to back about 3,000 times. I've read that book a lot, and I really like it.
Which Doctor?
It's New Adventures, so it's 7th.
Seven. Okay.
Come along, Ace. We've got work to do.
I've-
Expanded fiction
I've not-
because we've been fired.
I've
The
read,
tea is getting cold.
I've read the
So
other
bloody
Timeline
cold, Ace.
books, and they're not very good. So I have a feeling Exodus, but it's Terror Sticks, so you know.
What I do recommend, if
and
you
it's
can
like
find
alternate. What if the Nazis won the war thing, but also, of course, the war chief's involved, but don't tell anyone. Because it's a spoiler. But I've just told you, so. Oh, no. Spoiler for this 1992 Virgin New Adventures novel.
It's as old as me.
I know, right? What else? The BBC Books range was pretty. I enjoyed Eight Doctors. I enjoyed Illegal Alien. There's the Seventh Doctor one, which was written by Mike Tucker, and it's the Cybermen in Blitz London.
Oh, he planned that for a series
Yeah.
for 27.
But I can't remember what it's called, and that's quite good.
Yeah, I think I just know that it sounded really interesting.
Yeah, it's a pretty good book.
If you can, I think they only did these two, but if you can find them, there were two BBC books set during the Tennant specials year, which I got. One's called The Slovene Excursion. That's quite fun. But there's one called Autonomy, which is set in a X-Men movie style, not too distant future timeline in a mall in Australia.
Was that written by Terrence Dicks?
No.
Okay, then that's
It's
different.
a-
No,
it's a ten-
he
it's a tenth
he
Doctor.
wrote a Sixth Doctor one.
He did write a 10th Doctor book.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know. Maybe. It
There's
might.
a Sixth
He wrote a
Doctor.
10th Doctor Auton book. That's what I'm like.
It might be then, because it's the Auton's like made of like the black latex-esque plastic, and the idea is it's an Auton story, which it's surprising no one's ever really done on TV yet, which is what happens when you are trapped in a giant mall overnight as the invasion begins on a small scale in this building. And it's like, oh, okay. And again, like the voices of those two books, the 10th Doctor's the only character from the show in those books, and he's captured really well.
Oh, that's Daniel Blythe.
Daniel Blythe, okay. Well, there could be others. I know there's plenty. Maybe it was one of the shorts from the
It could be
Brilliant
one.
Books and not Brilliant Books, the storybook.
It might be, yeah.
There is
Because they were good. They were good as well. They were really great.
There's a Sixth Doctor Auton story in the BBC Past Doctor range.
Is there?
I think.
Or was it based on the stuff that didn't happen in the year that wasn't?
No. Target did those.
Ah,
Nightmare Fair, Mission to Magnus, and something else.
because wasn't the
Ultimate Evil?
Wasn't the Eighth Doctor Lucy Miller's story Brave New Town loosely based on the first version of the Sixth Doctor Auton story they were putting together?
Possibly.
Because that's a really good one. Like,
I
the
think-
small town, everything's lovely. Things seem slightly out of whack.
only-
Oh shit, these people are Autons and they don't realise it because they're so deep undercover. They think they're real people.
Only three. Target novelised 3 of those unproduced scripts
Hmm.
as the missing stories.
Can we have an Auton story again, please?
Yes.
Not for a year, at least.
Yeah, no,
Wait till
want-
Jodie's second year.
Yeah, I want Series 11 to just be all new, but like in regards to Autons, they've been sorely missed.
There'll be a Dalek appearance because there has to be.
Apparently, maybe, sort of, but let's be honest, yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing with the Autons. They're so well remembered, but they only appeared twice
Yes!
within a year.
Yeah!
But how good were those 2 appearances?
Amazing stories! Possibly the best John Pertwee stories, in my opinion.
I think
Yeah.
it's only 9
It's
10, but
fucking
like
great.
my favourite first stories for each Doctor are a tie between Spearhead from Space
And Rogue.
the 11th Hour, actually.
Oh,
yeah. I love Rose is like my favourite series opener because
Oh,
it
but-
sets the tone so well. But if it's like
For
first story of a
Doctor.
Doctor and everything, I love the 11th Hour because the pacing is so
Yeah,
good.
it's so... I rewatched it recently, it's incredible.
And Matt's wonderful in the
Yeah,
11th Hour.
yeah.
But
He's
what
so
about the
wonderful.
Autons?
Well, yeah. But
More
then they
Autons.
pop up in Series 5, but not really.
Yeah, well,
They do, but not really.
the annoying thing is, I know why they did it, but because when they came back in Series 1, they had the old sound effects of the and then also the...
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then-
I love
And it was
that.
nice because Russell picked him because he was like, people who've never seen Doctor Who
Remember,
are probably
yeah.
vaguely aware of these things.
Yes.
Because they redid it for 30 years in the TARDIS as well, didn't they?
Yes, they did. I freaking love that documentary.
But then when Series 5 came around and they show up at the end, I think it's because Rory shoots Amy, and there was probably a BBC mandate of you cannot have a gun sound effect shoot your main character. It goes near, bish. It does a laser sound effect from that point on, and it's like even though
But that's just
give a shot when
that,
your dummy's down.
that whole thing of the fingers just
fingers
falling
that's
apart.
so
It's
amazing.
so good.
They would make a great, like, even for a movie Doctor Who, they'd make a great, like, nemesis. You could do so much fun.
Well, just the police officer in Terror and everything.
It's horrifying. Like, with the weird melted face there.
Yeah, it's good.
So good.
And the
Living dummies are fun, damn it.
Why have they never done, like,
Ventriloquist doll in an Autumn story?
Ventriloquist girl? I was going to say, like, you can get plastic skeletons as well.
Yes.
Oh, God, Halloween episode!
Yes.
An Autumn Halloween Screw that. I think they might have attempted fate with this at some point. Do an Autumn story set in a waxwork museum. Because then you can even chuck in a celebrity cameo as well. That would be hilarious.
They do it in Spearhead, but it's like weirdly all.
They're all like politicians. It's like, but like imagine an episode where like just briefly it's in somewhere like Madame Tussauds.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Can one of them be Graham Norton? And it interrupts the scene.
Yes!
That would be wonderful.
That would be wonderful.
That would be so good.
Metatextuality in modern Doctor Who.
I would love that. Oh God, I'd love the Autumn.
How it should be.
We should probably move on to the next question, because we're still on this email. Which classic Who season would you like to see made into a Blu-ray box set next?
I'd like to see.
Yes.
I
want to see
I guess we've got to be in the realms of plausibility.
I want to see a John season. I want to see
season 8,
season 7 or 8.
Season 7 would be more logical because it's the introduction.
But also, I really like Silurians and I really like Inferno.
As I'm saying, I love Spearhead. I love a lot of Silurians.
Yeah,
I love a lot of
amazing.
Inferno.
I wonder if they're going to hold off on Series 7 just
Because
logically because of Spearhead.
Yeah, that would make sense actually.
But
what about season
8? Give us Terror.
I was going to say season 11.
Delgado
on
the cover of the box set. You know what I mean?
Would be good, wouldn't it?
Delgado on the cover of the box set,
Season
especially
8
after
would be
Twitch. People have been falling in love with Master again because of
Terror.
Twitch.
I've not seen Mind of Evil. I've seen Terror. Damon's is season 8, isn't it? Or is that season 9?
I think Damon's is season 8.
End of season 8, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, because then season 9 opens with him in jail, doesn't it?
He's in jail in the Sea Devils.
Yeah.
That's after the Damons, right?
Yeah.
And now I just want to steal
put
a sandwich mid-sword fight.
So good. So good.
Francis looks like to be hungry, don't you?
Yeah, I don't like Pertwee. Sorry.
I bet you like the real John Pertwee. He's a dashing man.
Where's Gummidge?
But
Hello.
see, part of it's like I would love to own the 5 Doctors on Blu-ray,
Yeah.
and also
Do you think they'll pack it in more of the seasons, or do you think they'll release it?
that packet as one of the seasons.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that it should be for the sake of that collection.
End
It
of
should be
season
because
20 or
the
beginning of
idea of
season
this
21?
eventually is just to have 26
26 box sets.
solid box sets.
End of season 20?
And then
Yes, the end of season 20.
And then, for your 8th Doctor box set, you put in the TV movie, you put in all the extra features, you put in a bunch of extra features that are brand new for that box set about the whole run.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
You stick in Curse of Fatal Death if you can get the rights to put it in something that you pay for.
Animated Dr. Shadow,
Put a free download for Curse of Fatal Death in, because then technically it's not breaking the charity thing of selling it for profit. Scream of the Shellker. Do a deal with Big Finish and put like a selection of 8th Doctor audio.
They did that for the Davros box set.
Yeah,
Davros
Davros, didn't they? Yeah.
But like the 8th Doctor one, just like here's a selection from his Big Finish adventures, so you get a sense of what his stories were like after that.
Yeah.
And then if you want to buy them, here's the link, guys. Here's the website and the membership.
I would say they would do that, and also leftover features.
Or put 8th and 9th Doctor in a box set with a bunch of extra stuff as well.
I do want them to,
because then it'd be a nice chunky box set with 2 of them on the spine.
No,
you want to separate the eras, really.
I can't.
But what about?
But you can put like 30 more years in the
have 2
TARDIS.
Doctors.
Season 4?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because it's 10th planet, Smuggler's 10th planet, Power of the Daleks.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do there. The one I'm worried about there, not so much us.
I think you can get away with it. It's Hartnell prominent on the
Well,
cover.
the Smugglers is
Troughton
missing.
in the display.
Whoever's doing the prints in the States is printing them as the Doctor season 1. So Tom Baker season 1, not season 12. So what are they going to do when they get to William Hartnell season 4?
Season 21.
I think
Twin Dilemma.
I think you get away.
End of season 21.
I think you can get away with it as just William Hartnell series 4. Make sure Troughton's in the visual of the front cover, and then the next one would technically be Troughton season 1.
It's got to be Troughton season 1
because there's more.
Then hold power over for that one, and then just make sure that it's listed as series on like the listings, series 4 story, whatever, and then series 5.
I mean, that states
because they do that in Germany as well, don't they? The Germany ones are listed as like Colin Baker Year 1 and stuff
that's
like
true.
that. Yeah.
But here, they name them properly.
You know which one I'm really looking forward to?
Oh,
Season 26.
really?
Yeah.
That would actually be a nice Blu-ray
Season
set, actually.
25.
Nah, I've not.
Season
seen
24,
Season
guys.
25.
Remember-
Time in the Rani in high
Remembrance.
definition.
Remembrance is going to be great,
Yeah.
but Silver Nemesis.
Yeah.
But Silver Nemesis is terrible.
Yeah, that. There's no I can say, but
I mean, that's indeed a thing.
Whereas Season 26, yeah, Battlefield is dodgy, but
Survival,
Ghostlight, Fenric,
Ghostlight,
Survival.
Fenric, yeah.
Also, there are different edits available for Ghostlight and Fenric,
But like,
and updated effects and stuff, which are really cool.
if they were to start if they were to try and, I reckon, like I was saying to you guys earlier, is that they'll only try and do the colour ones first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And if they were to do like 4 a
Hold
year,
off as long as they can on the black and white stuff, just in case.
they can finish it off or find them.
Apparently, there's at least 2 more episodes in the hands of private collectors
Yes,
that
they're
they're
trying to-
currently negotiating for.
Things the BBC can't pay for them.
No,
And also, thanks to the internet, private collectors will know about how rare it is.
Yes.
And charge up the wazoo.
and Ian
balls.
Levine has Fury from the Deep, but he's withholding it out of spite.
Because they cast a female
bastard.
doctor.
Yeah. Like, how dare you? I'm going to not watch your leaks and just watch my copy of Fury from the Deep instead. What are your favourite and least favourite stories from each Doctor?
Oh,
From each.
Jesus. All right, quick fire, I suppose then.
Okay.
Hartnell, favourite. Let's do favourites.
Okay.
Hartnell, favourite. The Aztecs.
Time Meddler.
Oh, I love the Time
Very
Meddler. It's a space helmet for a cow.
Yes.
Aztecs for me.
And also,
Aztecs,
and
yeah.
just the meddling monk is a wonderful little
Butterworth
character.
is so good. That's what. Find Mission to the Unknown so we can
Yes.
see him again briefly. Graham Garden played him in a bunch of Eighth Doctor audios. He was really good.
Really?
Yeah. It was like a next incarnation. I think he's had another incarnation since played by Rufus Hound. But Graham Garden as the meddling monk just is like, yes, that hits the spot. One of the goodies is the meddling monk. Yes, happy with that.
Troughton.
Ooh,
War Games. It's long, but it's brilliant.
dodgy manservant character aside Tomb and Cybermen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have said Tomb, and it used to be, but when I first saw War Games, I was just in love.
Okay.
I saw that story, I was just like,
I think Power of the Daleks is pretty damn good.
I love Power of the Daleks, but I don't.
No.
I haven't.
Sorry, I was getting them confused.
I do love Power of the Daleks. I'm not sure how I feel about the animation yet because I've not seen all of it. But I had the missing episodes cassette with the Tom Baker narration, and it was beautiful.
Yes, the Tom
It's
Baker.
so good.
Best bit about the Tom Baker narration is I can't remember which incarnation I was in, but I remember. It's like him
There was something more, whatever.
because he was in character as the
Yeah,
Doctor.
it was
It's
really,
fascinating.
really good.
Yeah, it's a really good way of
Really,
doing
really
it.
nicely written. But yeah, Power's good. But War Games is my favourite. Pertwee.
Pertwee. Ooh, favourite Pertwee.
Terror. No, Spearhead from Space.
Oh, Spearhead's like my favourite series. Open, like I said, of a regeneration story, but
It's a really tough.
something about Terror of the Autons,
It's a really.
Masters in Terror, isn't he?
and I really like the Time Warrior as well.
I haven't seen it.
Time Warrior is good.
Just because Sarah Jane, like the moment she lands in it, you're
so
like,
good.
oh, I'm already missing Joe, and I'm really
She's
annoyed.
so
Like,
good.
I'm really annoyed now. You can't possibly replace the dynamic by the end of it. You're like, you're great, and I can't wait to have more adventures with you. And the Sontaran, the first time you meet one, Lynx is really creepy, and the medieval setting's really fun.
Keeps on licking his lips.
He does, which is something that not many of them have used since. Dan Starkey did it a bit in Series 4.
Yes, he
He
did.
did a bit of that. And
Yeah.
it was because he was a fanboy, so he was like, oh, I'm going to bring that to it. And it's like, fair enough. Good on you, mate.
I find it almost impossible to choose a favourite Pertwee. So, because it changes depending on what.
Well, it's
day
obviously
it is.
Invasion of the Dinosaurs for you, isn't
But
it?
it's-
Let's be honest.
Today I'm feeling the Daemons.
Fair enough.
Okay.
The Daemons!
Chat with the Wings.
From Deimos!
Probably Terror of the Autons, then, if I had to pick one.
Pertwee's a really difficult one because the Pertwees I've seen, I almost universally
I tell you
love.
what, I did enjoy as well as Sea Devils is in a way of like I can put that on and just kind of sit and watch it for 3 hours.
Yeah,
and not
there's not many of the longer ones where you can just kind of go.
I can do that with Inferno.
Yeah.
I can do that with Inferno easily.
Yeah, but just because after like 12 weeks of getting to know everyone, it's fascinating to see their evil universe counterparts.
And also
It's
just
great.
the end of episode 6 of Inferno.
Yeah,
I don't know what happens. Spoilers.
And
The
Liz is
entire
great.
alternate universe dies.
And Liz Shaw's
Oh,
great.
wow.
And the Doctor escapes back to the regular one to try and stop the same thing happening over here.
Goodbye, everybody.
It's
I'm going to go back
fucking
and
brilliant.
use the cheat sheet.
Yeah.
But
Alternate Nazi
but
Liz
he go-
Shaw shoots alternate Nazi.
he
Brigadier.
goes through the
It's
mirror
great.
and the formula's reversed.
Yes.
As a Red Dwarf reference.
Inferno is so
it's
good.
Terrible. It's terrible.
It's very, very good. But today it's the Daemons. On another day it might be Carnival of Monsters. On another day it might be the Green Death.
Green Death's pretty
Carnivals, that's where Drashig comes from.
Yes.
good. Yes. Don't upset anybody, but we've got to pick a favourite Tom now.
Oh no!
Robot Part 2.
Get out. No one likes Robot Part 2.
I like Robot Part 2. I like Robot Part 3 more. Because of that cliffhanger
you're
with the
a
tank.
pain in the arse. Anyway.
The tank is great.
I'm surprised Robots of Death wasn't your first go-to, actually.
I do
Robots of
really
Death
like
is good.
Robots of
Please
Death.
do not throw hands at me.
I love it so
I'm
much.
gonna sneak that into the first show I get to make. Is a Robots of Death reference.
You know what? I didn't clock until yesterday when I watched the first episode of Revenge of the Cybermen again.
What?
Pool is the Vogon in Revenge of the Cybermen. Pool from Robots of Death is the jingoistic Vogon in Revenge of the Cybermen.
Really?
Yeah. David Collins.
I didn't notice that.
I didn't clock it because on Father's Day I was at Dad's and was like, let's watch a classic Who because we've not watched a classic Who together for ages. You got me into it, so I was like, all right. And he came down and he chose Robots of Death, and I'm like, yes, I am your child. Yes, I am. And yeah, so I've watched it recently, and it's so good. And yeah, but I popped from Revenge of the Cybermen and I was like, yeah, it sounds familiar. It's Pool. Robots of Death. It is.
Pool!
It's Pool!
Bloody Pool!
It's Chief Mover Pool! Commander Ivanov. I love Robots of Death. So yeah, it's Robots of Death because it's so good.
I think it was the first Tom Baker story I saw. Do you remember, like in 2006, The Sun did the 5 days in a week? They released part 1 of random episodes.
Yeah, with a cheeky little advert for the DVD range on the back of each one saying,
didn't-
you can buy it now.
Well, I didn't realise that classic Who was in parts.
Right.
So I got it, and I was like, "What?" And
why do people love this part 1 of Earthshock?
Yeah.
What's going on?
it was because it would say like episode 1, and then suddenly it turned into part 1. And obviously, by that point, by the time I got to Workshop, I knew
It wasn't until the last few years of the DVD, like certainly past the halfway point of the VHS range, that they started releasing them in parts. Before that, they were all in the omnibus edits.
Yes.
So the first time I saw Robots of Death, the first time I saw Genesis? No, Genesis was in parts. The first time I saw Ark in Space, a lot of that stuff, it was all omnibus edits. So it wasn't until I got the DVD of a lot of stuff where I actually saw it in its episodic order.
That's interesting.
Ark in
because
Space is actually a good nomination for a Tom 1.
I had a fairly... I think
It's
we
early,
still
but
have a
strong.
fairly
I
complete
struggled with
VHS
it.
collection.
Because I started watching.
But you're part of the human race, John.
I know, but
You're indomitable.
Indomitable.
I
Almost happy.
I didn't find that bit particularly impressive.
And I love a bit of Harry.
Harry was lovely. Yes.
They only put it in because the writers just liked hearing Tom say words.
Yes.
Because he's got the best voice.
Such a good voice. Such a good timbre.
City of Death for me.
Oh, City of Death is so good, isn't it?
It is bloody lovely.
Do.
That music.
Even if part 1 is just Tom and Lana go on holiday.
It's the BBC. Show off that they're filming abroad.
Yes.
They're going to do it again in The Two Doctors. Stick around, everybody. We're going to show it off like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, just the dialogue, the way it flows, it's quotable as hell.
I'm going to say Invasion of Time. No.
Jeez. Let's run around a recreation centre for 2 episodes.
It's the Vardens.
Well, this Sontaran sounds a bit grumpy.
It's Robots of Death. But
Terror of the
it's
Zygons?
It's very, very good, yes.
There's some really are. Even like Brain and Morbius.
Brain and Morbius,
Taz
so
Wing
good.
Chang.
Pyramids of Mars.
Pyramids of Mars is
It's
so
very
good.
It is very good.
I can't remember if it was that or The Green Death, which was the first Doctor Who story I ever saw, and it would have been on Saturday morning repeats when I was a kid.
I know a lot of people that Pyramids of Mars was their first one.
It was either The Green Death or Pyramids of Mars was my first one.
You always remember your first time.
Oh yeah.
When you were watching it,
Yes.
were you sat or did you kneel?
I knelt.
Did you kneel
I missed
for the might of
I missed the first 10 minutes of episode 4 because we were out shopping. And we didn't get back in time and I was very upset.
Aww.
But then we got the VHS and
Okay,
after that.
the story for 9 is 10.
Oh.
Sorry, but
3 years too late.
3 years too late. Are you
Are you gonna do 10 is 10? No! 2 years too late.
Parting of the Ways.
Hello.
I
Spoiler alert for a later question.
had to go to a wedding that afternoon, so I didn't see it go out live. And that was the first time I had to miss Doctor Who, and I was fuming. And I couldn't get to sit until the following day, and I didn't sleep that night.
Because you were so excited to watch it and so annoyed you hadn't seen it. That's actually really sweet.
So, yeah. Anyway, sorry.
That's accurate. Fifth Doctor.
Earthshock. And the 5 Doctors.
Ooh, Fifth Doctor.
Which I'm going to be completely predictable and say Caveman Designer.
Yeah. Yeah, I was debating.
I have a soft spot
Christ,
for
what's
Enlightenment because I had it on VHS.
What's the first Mara? Kinder. I've got a soft spot for Kinder. Because
I'm not a fan of
I'm not a big
Well, I
Tegan
say
fan,
not-
but I
not a
really
fan.
like her in those
Not
stories.
seen that one either.
But no, now you said Caves. Like
I also
Caves.
really, really like Resurrection of the Daleks.
Resurrection.
I really
Has
like it.
Resurrection got a higher body count than Terminator?
Yes.
Yes.
I really like it.
And they say fuck more than they do in Scarface. It's a
Mm.
true story. You just have
Very
to
true.
turn it up really loud to hear it. It's in the background.
Right, okay.
Sixth Doctor. This one should be easy. Revelation of the Daleks.
Revelation of the Daleks is fucking amazing.
Yes, it's so good. It's very, very
really
good.
good. It's a fascinating. I understand. Like even Colin has this complaint of like, it's not much of a Doctor Who story if the Doctor's not involved.
Doesn't matter.
I think it's one of the great examples of showing us that Doctor Who doesn't need the Doctor to be part of the action.
No, he's just
To
there so you
witness.
can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Vengeance on Varos for me.
Vengeance on Paris is actually pretty good. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
It's twisted in all the
It's
right
no-
ways. I
it's-
mean, so's
twin
Revelation of the Daleks. Revelation of the Daleks is fucking twisted in
Yes.
the right ways as well. They
Yeah.
both
you
both
mean
deal.
to tell me you weren't? You did, no, wait. What was it? You didn't happen to tell them that they were eating their own relatives? Certainly not. I believe that would create what is termed consumer resistance. Davros, creator of the Daleks, said that.
I'm a past master at the double entry.
Oh god!
That I remember seeing.
Just the swashbuckle of what's his face in that as well. What's he
Orsini.
called?
Orsini and
Bostock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's
just
right.
it's just such a fucking swashbuckle.
It's-
these were clearly meant to be the main characters of the story,
Yeah.
but
It's
we have
Eric
to remember
Saban
that the
going,
Doctor and
I wish I
Perry
was
were in it
Robert
as
Holmes. I
well.
wish I was Robert Holmes.
Yes. It is possibly the most he gets
Yeah,
into
he's
that.
almost Robert Holmes in that story.
Mm.
I'm almost.
I
right
saw.
And I said to John, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if the Cybermen crushed their hands and just a little bit of blood just kind of squirts everywhere? And John didn't really take to that, but I wrote it in anyway.
I saw Revelation in an early 90s repeat.
The most
And
timid but violent man. Sorry.
I was a very no, that's fine. I was a very, very young boy, and the glass Dalek scene scared the shit
that would-
out of
yeah,
me.
that would do it.
yeah.
That
That's
would do it.
amazing.
Yeah,
Also, did you have the DVD when it first came out
yeah.
of that? I got it, was watching it, and there was a glitch on it on certain players where when that daughter and her friend were running through the corridors, it would repeat perfectly on a cut. So it would always look like they ran down one corridor and then another, and then it would cut back to the start.
Was it on the layer change?
Oh.
Yeah, it was on the first. It might have been between scenes,
Yeah.
and it would just constantly, and you couldn't fix it. And when you tried to do anything with the remote, it would crash the DVD player. But you would just loop this scene. And I remember watching it the first time, and it was 5 times it went round when I went, that's not right.
I've seen enough Scooby-Doo to know that sometimes this is a money-saving technique.
Well, I was like, I've seen enough classic Doctor Who at this point to know that it's not, it's a bit creaky. This is too creaky.
Yeah.
This is creakier than normal.
Speaking of creaky, favourite
Doctor.
Sylves. Fenric or Remembrance. Yeah.
Remembrance has to be for me. Silver Nemesis.
I think it's Remembrance. I really like Ghostlight, Fenric, and Survival, but Ghostlight is a little too incomprehensible for its own good. So one of the things I like about it is the fact that it's fucking nonsense.
And I've got a huge soft spot for Greatest Show in the Galaxy.
I've not seen Greatest Show.
I've seen it.
So
it's pretty great.
Yeah. But Remembrance
pretty
is
great.
Remembrance is...
It's got rap in it, for Christ's sake. There's rapping. There is a rapping ringmaster.
Okay.
And Sylvester McCoy gets to do some of his sleight of hand magic.
Okay.
Remembrance is the best
And
Sylvester
really scary
McCoy
clown.
doing classic Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Because Ghostlight, Fenric, remember the Survival is Sylve prototyping modern Doctor Who.
Yes. Oh god, that last series informed so much of later.
Especially Survival.
Favourite 8th Doctor canon television story? Probably the TV movie,
Night of the
I'll be
Doctor.
honest. There's something really cool about the TV movie. It's probably my favourite of his.
Physician, heal thyself, though.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah.
It's
But
a pretty stellar last line.
But these shoes,
they do fit comfortably.
they fit, they're fucking, they're right on him.
Yeah, alright.
I was so into that one.
Shard.
Get out. The Curse of Fatal Death.
Sword of Orion.
I'm counting 2-parters. Bad Wolf Part of the Ways. 2-parters in the modern era count because they are one story.
Yeah, they are. Dalek.
Not counting series 9 2-parters because they're not 2-parters apart from like 2 of them.
Ghostlight. No, Ghostlight. Rose.
Dalek
Rose.
was pretty... Dalek was the reason that I
Ghostlight,
wanted
I
to
thought
watch
you
the
were
show.
Ooh, it's good though. It is really fucking good.
And then, by the time I got to Dalek, I was already hooked by the world.
Yeah.
But then it was... The reason why I wanted to watch the show was figure out why the Daleks were a thing. And then this episode introduced me to, like, existential consequences with alien Nazi robots.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck? my brain was pulled out of the back of my skull.
And the line reading, defeated by a flight of stairs.
What a...
He is Henry Van Statten, now recognise him. Speak to me, Dalek.
I know what should happen. I know what you deserve. Exterminate.
So good.
10!
An amazing scene. Midnight.
Oh, 10. Midnight, yeah. Midnight or Wars of Mars.
What was Mars good?
Oh, that's very good.
It's just not followed up on. It's really annoying.
I enjoyed the time thinking back to how I felt when it went out.
Oh,
I remember that was like the last thing I watched before I moved to London.
Yeah.
On New Year's Day, it was that, and then 2 days later I was in a freaking B&B in Shepherd's Bush going,
Oh, joy.
oh god, I'm terrified for my new job.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
And then 2 weeks later I was like, Matt, can I live with you for a bit while I figure out what the hell I'm doing?
Yes. Yes.
And then 2 weeks later you were like, get the fuck out of my bedroom.
Get the fuck out. I
Um,
am quite keen on...
Rimming.
Stop putting words into my mouth.
Yep.
And other things.
I'll seal that right up.
I'm gonna go with...
It's a 2-part episode, guys and girls. We'll see you next week.
Next week.
Satan Pit. Impossible Planet. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Standout
Yeah.
episodes that season.
Yeah.
I know this
The
one.
beast and his armies shall rise from the pit to make war with God. Oof. So fucking creepy.
Oh, that's some great dialogue.
And just the wonderful chat about them having to settle down and get a mortgage,
Yeah.
and it's just like you can tell he's absolutely devastated, but he feels safe with her.
Yes.
And you're like, that's the moment where I'm like, okay, this flouncy wouncy space boyfriend girlfriend thing, I get it now
Yeah, it's working.
because you two are clearly very happy in each other's company. And then, like, retroactively later on, I realised from what Cavan Scott said to us during 9 is 10, think about it, the 10th Doctor is literally a reaction to Rose.
Yes.
Of course he's space boyfriend.
Yes.
And that then explains his behaviour when she's gone.
Yes.
Being selfish and self-absorbed.
His character arc is possibly the best one.
It's amazing. I count like 9 and 10's arc as the same arc.
Yeah, it was the same writer.
Because it's just like
the same
it's
ship.
so good. Yeah, it's brilliantly done.
I could also say Voyage of the Damned. And I
It's
know
really fun.
Oh, yeah, I know it gets a lot of flack, but I think it's genuinely it's a great hour of television.
And his name is Max. Ding ding. But it's so much fun, and freaking Bernard Cribbin's cameo. Little did we know it would become a much bigger thing later. Like retroactively they'd add him in. And
Fucking love
and
it.
Kylie's wonderful in it.
Yeah, Kylie will know.
And the Dick is the only one of the group that survives, which is a really nice twist on it.
Also, the Heavenly Hosts really remind me of the Vox.
Yes, and the Heavenly Host. Yes.
Yeah. And again, like keeping on the creepy angel imagery. Information. You are all going to die.
The little jaw movement. I love it.
And the fact that no one on this trip realises the ignorance and kind of offensiveness of the Titanic being celebrated the way it is, and it's just so bloody long before Adele was being a prick about it. It's just so because it's morbid but shiny. Yeah. And CBBC Ed posting had kicked my ass if I didn't point out that Duke from Tracy Beaker was in it. So there you go.
Hey.
Yeah.
11.
What?
11.
Series 5.
All of Series 5.
Vincent and the Doctor. Because it's the closest we've ever really had to a historical in the modern run. Because the monster's invisible and consider it enough to be invisible.
And it is a metaphor for
mental illness and anxiety.
It's one of those things where they've actually managed to produce synergy between their themes.
Synergetic
storytelling.
Yes. Vincent and the Doctor. Then. Although there's the 8-year-old inside me wants to say Victory of the Daleks.
Oh, that first 20 minutes is so much fun.
It really was to say Victory of the Daleks.
And then it kind of goes a bit wibbly, but
does it though?
Yeah, a bit.
Does it though?
Matt Smith stands in a bleached and wiped down empty office block.
Yes.
Talking to a
cigar
bunch
factory.
Talking to a bunch of props for 25 minutes.
Sorry, we're talking about Doctor Who here, aren't we?
This is Doctor Who.
That's true. It's like we see these Daleks, they make a very clear mission statement that they mean business by killing the other ones.
Yeah.
And then they just talk for 25 minutes.
That sounds like Daleks.
Instead of ploughing through things.
God, this is
honestly,
so long.
Series 5
is so hard.
Anyway, I'm just going to say Series 5. I can't give you an episode there.
12.
Mummy on the Orient Express.
Mummy on the Orient Express.
Mummy on the Orient Express.
Maybe Deep
It's
Breath.
unanimous.
I kind of like Deep
I
Breath.
have a soft spot for Robot of Sherwood as well.
I quite like...
It's a romp.
The 2Ds.
The what?
Flatline.
Oh, the 2Ds.
Yes.
Some radical effects and monster realisation in that.
Worst stories.
Worst quickfire.
We'll go in reverse order. So 12 worst stories.
And this would be
9.
we've seen.
Series 9.
I can't even enjoy it.
If I had to
I
pick
can't pretend
one,
that's a joke. I
it's
hate
got to
Series
be-
9.
Series 9 is genuinely bad.
It's got to be Twice Upon a Time for the character assassination it pulls on the fucking first Doctor.
On the Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the 12th Doctor becomes a whining bitch,
Yeah.
basically. It's like, I want to die for some reason.
For some reason.
In a way that 10 did, but it made sense in its arc in a way, because he was a selfish idiot who suddenly realised that he would been a dick, and his life was not his own, and introduced that element that at least that incarnation felt bitter about the idea that he'll be gone.
Yes.
Because everyone was like, oh, he's retconning it, that all of them like don't want to leave and it's really horrible. It's like, no, that's his opinion.
Yeah.
And maybe the others have felt like that, but they faced it with dignity and honour.
Like 9.
Like 9, like 3. Like, they face it with, like, proper... And 4, they face it with
11.
proper dignity. Yeah. Whereas 10 does face it with dignity and then he has a strop, then he deals with it, as his usual selfish, like, big, final marathon, here I am, everything's great, I'm going on a victory lap and everything. And then at the last minute, he chickens out in a genuinely sincere way. Yeah. And it's...
But it's and there's nothing he can do.
There's nothing he can do, and he freaking blows into light, and then this clownish, boyish face goes, ooh, and the story changes immediately.
Yes. And it
it's
is
great.
It is that sound as well.
It's great. It's so good. And the music then changes that like, and he's just like, oh, what's happening?
The show's just going a new way now.
Yeah. I hate. Yeah, Twice Upon a Time.
Yeah, Twice Upon a Time, I think.
And maybe Kill the Moon.
I'd say.
In the Forest of the Night.
Oh God! Telling children not to take their medication.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
There is a good story in there somewhere, but none of it made it to screen. 11.
Oof. The Almost People and the Rebel Flesh.
I have a soft
I
spot for
don't
it
mind
after
them.
revisiting it. I have a soft spot after revisiting.
I don't mind that. I am going to go ahead and say...
I think Rings of Akaten's ultimately a pointless story. I don't hate it, but it's pointless.
Asylum of the Daleks is pretty bad.
I mean, again, on first viewing, I didn't hate Asylum because I was genuinely intrigued by the way they played the press. Because I was like, wait, hang on, this lady's in it already. Like, what's going on? I thought she was joining next year. Like,
all the shit they did with Clara, but before she was Clara, was not very good. Oh,
The Doctor, the Widow, and the Water.
That's the one.
I knew it was coming to all of us.
That's the one.
That's the worst.
It's very bad.
Really very bad. I think that's the episode you can see Matt Smith decide, I'm going to leave after next season.
I thought Christmas Carol wasn't very good either.
I like Christmas Carol.
I don't like
Christmas
it.
Carol was
Because
magical.
of
I don't
Gambon.
like it at all.
Because of Gambon.
I don't like it.
And the
Because of
singing.
Gambon and Catherine Jenkins.
I don't like it. I'm going to spit my dummy out. I'm going to say I don't like it, and you're all wrong. 10. 10. That's that. You all know what I'm going to say.
Planet of the Dead.
And everyone's
I
gonna-
don't hate Planet of the Dead. It's terrible, but I don't hate it. I have a lot of fun with it.
No.
But it is pretty bad.
Love and Monsters.
No, I love Love and
Love and
Monsters.
Monsters is great.
It's awful.
I love
It's
Love and
really
Monsters.
bad.
I genuinely love
Oh,
Love
it's
and
Fear
Monsters.
Her, mate. Fear Her's much
It's
worse.
fine.
But, John, I thought you loved Chloe
fine.
Webber.
Chloe Webber? No! She should be eaten by her wardrobe.
Fair enough.
Fine.
Again, a really dark, scary idea. Told terribly.
Told terribly.
And I'm reporting it to the council.
Fear's alright.
I'd say Fear Her's worse than...
Love and Monsters is fucking terrible.
Fear is worse than Love and Monsters. Oh,
Terrible.
God. Love and Monsters is at least trying to do something different, and it's got those fucking brilliant scenes with Jackie.
I
The
don't...
stuff with Jackie's wonderful. Especially when she... especially all the awkward flirting stuff is wonderful.
42 is hit and miss.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, considering where we are now.
Yeah,
I'm
42
waiting
is pretty drab,
Eating fish and
actually.
chips.
I honestly believe that Chibbers has learned some serious lessons since his work on Doctor Who.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah.
Since his Broadchurch.
Yes. So I'm hoping that that's going to rub off on New Who.
There isn't a bad episode for Doctor 9.
There isn't.
The genuine... I'm sorry.
There isn't.
I'm sorry.
That first series, that
Come at me, bro.
It's
There isn't one.
It's perfect hit rate.
Yeah.
If you want to choose the one that's not the best,
Unquiet Dead?
I really like Unquiet Dead. That was almost my
Don't
pick
think,
for favourite.
don't think I didn't feel your hands having a wander. All that stuff is
Oh, God,
fucking
yeah,
brilliant.
Oh, it's fucking great.
And the actual ending of the girl and the idea that Gwyneth's been dead for minutes already.
Yes.
And it's like,
chilling.
Oh,
yeah, no, I still remember watching
and
that.
Callow is freaking having a ball playing Dickens.
What is the
And the scene in the carriage where he's like, I'm your biggest fan, but in what way are you a means of keeping oneself cool?
The long game is the least good episode of that entire season.
Okay, I'll give you that.
It's still really fucking good though.
Yes,
it's
it's still
really
really good.
interesting.
It's just,
but it's the least good.
It's
But
possibly because of Adam.
And it
Yes.
was more... however, that last 5 minutes is excellent.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it
it-
shows you.
It's like, not everyone's meant for this.
Yeah.
Not everyone is meant for this. And it cemented the idea that the companion is the main character. Because you suddenly realise how special Rose actually was.
And also
and
they got
how
rid of that
lucky she was to be in that world. And that last scene is great and so weird.
Okay, so Eighth Doctor.
The TV movie.
movie.
It is simultaneously the best
And
and
the
worst. Sometimes in the same scene.
Yes.
Oh,
Kiss as good as me, as well as you. Oh, Bruce, the Asian child.
but then he peels off his fingernail.
Oh, God.
I always dress for the occasion.
We've no time to waste, but time to get changed.
Doctor Seven.
Christ, time in the Rani. Time in
Delta
the
and the
Rani.
Bannerman. I've not seen Time in the Rani, so it has to be Delta and the
Oh,
Bannerman.
well, we are having a party. We're having a viewing party.
Battlefield.
Yeah.
I did not take to Battlefield very well.
It's
You got bone
definitely...
spurs and you pulled out.
It's certainly the lowest point of that for the last season.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Richard B. Brooks would tear my head off.
I don't mind Battlefield, but it's definitely the weakest link in that season.
Yes.
It's better than Silver Nemesis.
Yes.
25th anniversary.
Then again, Silver Nemesis actually, Silver Nemesis is pretty bad.
Yeah.
It is pretty, what the fuck going on?
And
He's having a conversation with the
this is the 25th anniversary story. Here you go. It's shit.
Lap it
We
up.
made Remembrance of the Daleks like 8 weeks ago. Here's Silver Nemesis. Fucking hell.
Weakest story for 6.
Twin Dilemma. Because it was, here's your introduction. Oh God, what have we done?
You don't-
We'll see you
Yeah.
next year.
We'll see you
Yeah.
next year. Hey everyone, let's crush this train. You can hear everyone crying. Come back 6 months later and we'll show you how they get out, if at all.
See,
The Doctor in
I-
Distress music video.
I don't hate any. I don't hate any of the stories in season 22.
Alright.
I don't hate any of them,
Explain.
and I don't hate any of this. And I don't hate any of the Trial of Time Lord stuff. I think the Ultimate Evil gets a bit up its own ass towards the end, but it's.
What's the one with
I don't like what they do with Perry.
Ainley phones
I
in. Literally,
hate
it's a Skype
what
call.
they do with Perry in Trial of Time
well,
Lord.
because they revert. So,
Yeah.
I
It's-
think her dying was much powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still shit, but
I mean, living with
Yeah,
Brian
it makes
Blessed
sense.
is probably close.
Hello,
darling!
Would
make me a coffee?
What's the one with the flower face people that people think?
Terror
Terror
of
of
the
the
Vervoids.
Vervoids.
Yeah, I've never seen that because every time I've gone to watch it, I fall asleep.
pretty good. I quite like it.
I
It's
honestly fall
better than
asleep.
Night Nurse,
It's
apparently.
it's a pretty decent like murder mystery that's not even really a mystery because you know who's doing it, but no one else does.
Right.
Thing on a
It's
cruise ship.
an episode of Scooby-Doo without the twist.
It's Agatha Christie with a lot of yonic imagery. So yeah, it's I
Columbo.
Murderous vaginas, flowers.
yeah,
Look at
Twin Dilemma is the
Twin
first
Dilemma.
one.
Yeah, Twin Columbo.
But I don't actually hate any of his other stories. I think they're not very good. But
Oh,
He's great.
I know which one's the worst for the Fifth Doctor.
yeah.
Fury from the Deep.
Fury from the Deep is
Warriors
pretty
of the Deep.
terrible.
No, hang on.
Oh, yeah, Warriors from the Deep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fury from the
Sorry.
Deep. Yes.
Warriors
Sorry,
from the Deep.
Nat.
Warriors from the Deep is pretty terrible.
I find it
Yeah.
hilarious to watch.
I have a
but it's
soft
bad.
spot for it because it was one of the few stories that the local library had on VHS back when they did a VHS library.
Okay. Yeah.
So I watched it a few times, but it's yeah.
Time Flight's pretty
Time
abominable.
Flight's pretty bad.
Yeah, I think I had to give up watching that.
Like the Master's Disguise, the pacing of it all, the immediate, like, oh, Adric's dead. Moving on! It's just
he wouldn't want us to mourn him unnecessarily.
Castrovalva is really boring.
Yes, it is.
It's really
Thank
boring.
you. I cannot get my head around
It's
people
not-
who like it.
It's not bad. It's just really dull.
The people who love it are the people who didn't realise they were into bondage and fancied Adric. That's the audience for Castrovalva.
Where he's very visible boner.
And
Yes,
it's
that's
very,
the audience for Castrovalva.
It's very
And people who
weird
like
for me
watching
because
beige men sleep in pills.
It comes off the back of Logopolis, and I fucking love Logopolis
See, I really struggle with that.
because it's so
As well.
weird and melancholy and
It
slightly
is very
funereal.
melancholy.
And,
Yeah,
yeah, I really like the mood of Logopolis.
yeah.
And
There's a
then-
mood. Yeah,
And then Castrovalva's just dull.
weird. And a sequel.
Yeah.
Fourth Doctor, terrible Fourth Doctor. Sorry, like the worst. Genesis of the Daleks.
I don't get the hate people have for Revenge of the Cybermen. It's not very good.
No,
It's
no,
but
it's
it's
not
not
the
awful.
worst. No,
It's
Image of the Fendal was like what? The
I
fuck?
fucking love Image of the Fendal.
Okay,
I fucking love it.
I remember watching it. I watched it when it came out on DVD,
Yeah.
That was powerful.
and then I put on the commentary to be like, "Does this make sense?" And as the commentary was on, I went, "I'm going for a walk," and I just went for a walk for no reason. I was just away for a walk and came back and the commentary was still on. I was like,
fucking hell.
yeah.
Underworld.
I've not watched a lot of the Tom Baker stuff that is generally regarded to be his worst stuff.
Invasion of Time is pretty nasty.
Oh, yeah, Invasion of Time, like episodes 4 to 7 are pretty damn
because
terrible.
it starts really interestingly because he's being a dick.
Yeah, and you're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Why is the Doctor doing it? And then the Sontarans rock up and you're like, oh god, shit, what's happening?
And it's more than one!
Yeah.
I don't think you can pick a bad story or a truly terrible story from Sarah Jane's run.
No.
And I suppose Invisible Enemy's a bit shit.
It's nothing.
But it's like, I'm not a huge fan of the Armageddon factor. But
Is this
that's the last Key to Time one.
I've not seen that.
But I think it's just because it's a 6-parter and it's a bit too long.
Ooh.
Right,
But the other Key to Time stuff I quite like.
Right, what Key to Time
Especially
stories?
the Pirate
Just
Planet.
list them.
Reboss Operation,
Yeah.
which is great.
Pirate Planet.
Pirate Planet, which is brilliant.
Stones of Blood.
Stones of Blood, which
Power
is
of
Doctor
great.
Who's 100th story.
Power of Kroll.
Power of Kroll, which is cheesy, campy, fun, and full of
Yeah.
Maddox in it. Android of Tara, which is a Prisoner of Zenda send-up, and he's alright.
I found that one really dull when I binged that season,
Yeah.
actually.
It's 'cause
I
you
couldn't
binged
remember,
that
to
season.
the point where I couldn't remember what the name of it was, because I'd obviously thought, oh, that's the one I didn't like.
Yeah.
No.
And then what's the last one?
Armageddon Factor.
I'm getting facts.
Which is, I just like, it's...
What's the one where he gets slapped, and then he slaps them back?
That's Reboss Operation.
Yeah.
That's a pretty
freaking
He slaps
wonderful
him in the
moment.
gloves and he takes the gloves off and slaps him back. It's so good.
Pirate
It's a
Planet-
Robert Holmes
Pirate Planet's got
script,
some
so-
really good
Oh,
stuff
okay.
in it. And
Pirate
Stones of
Planet is
Blood's
just Douglas
got some
Adams
really good
all the
stuff
way.
in it. And
Stones of Blood's really good.
again, I'm not sure there is
I don't know.
a dreadful Tom. There's Toms that aren't strong.
Yeah.
Like
Well-
I appreciate it.
But
But
I've not-
I don't love Robot.
But like, I've
I
not...
appreciate Robot.
Yeah, but it's not his
but I don't
worst
love
story,
Robot.
is
It's
it?
not.
Like,
It's
no.
not the worst story.
But it is one that I do if, like, in the past, like, at the minute we're in a big binge, so
Yeah.
I've not got the option. But sometimes when I've like just randomly watched a few from each Doctor, I've sort of skipped Robot and I go to
But
either
the ones-
Arc or Genesis. And...
The ones people will choose, like, I haven't seen Creature from the Pit, I haven't seen Underworld, I haven't seen Meglos, I haven't seen Horns of Nimon, I've seen Invisible Enemy. That's not very good. So I think I'll probably have to go with Invisible Enemy, just out of lack of other options.
Okay.
Android Invasion. Is that one?
Oh, that's
Yes.
that's an unpopular one.
It's an unpopular one, but
It's got some really cool moments,
Yeah.
but it is a bit of a drag.
I remember Dan
And
describing
the
it
idea
very
of
boring.
duplicates and that sort of
well, it's
undercover thing.
Termination scripts.
Well,
so it's not exactly riveting stuff, is
the
it?
duplicate undercover thing had been done so much better in Terror and the
Not
Zygons
wrong.
that it was just kind of like, we're doing this again, but it's now robots. Like,
Yeah.
Never has such a mediocre writer had so much influence and power as Terry Nation's estate.
Doctor 3!
That was a sentence.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think The Ambassadors of Death is one of the most
I've
boring
not
Doctor Who's
seen
I've
it.
ever seen.
The Time Monster is pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
You're not a fan of chroma key thing?
Invasion of the
effects and
Dinosaurs
TARDISes that look like
pretty
computer
bad.
banks from the 70s.
I'm trying to think of like other ones I've seen.
Yeah, exactly. That's the tricky bit for me. It's it's probably gonna be the Time Monster for me.
My other ones I've seen, to be fair to him, my least favourite one has been Silurians. But that's I'm fine with it.
Silurians,
How
yeah.
dare you?
I'm-
It's
I'm-
Doctor Who and the Silurians.
That's a good point.
It is long though,
These-
so
God, I like you. put
He's
it on-
bloody blown him up, the fucker! Brigadier.
Piece of shit, Brigadier.
I hope one day your corpse is paraded around in a tin man.
I'm going to pray to the Time Lord gods.
right, it's gone midnight. We've still got two emails to go. So
Oh god.
let's worst story for Doctor 2.
Ice Warriors is pretty boring in places.
Invasion slows down.
Yeah, it's a bit too long.
Yeah.
That's the problem with a lot of early Who.
Yeah.
They just made them too long and too slow. I'm going to go with the Dominators.
Oh, I love the Dominators.
Out of the ones I've seen, though, like...
They come out and they go,
And it's not like you've got a lot of options for
They do go, "Wee!"
Troughton, because all of his fucking stories are missing.
Yeah, this is hard for Troughton. It really
Because
is.
they're all missing.
Oh, we didn't talk about the Mind Robber. One of the good ones. That was,
that's a good one, yeah.
That was a cracker.
And Hartnell,
Hartnell.
Censor rights. Sensorites episode 2 onward.
That part in the toy maker, where bad words are said.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Wonder when that Blu-ray collection's coming
Yeah, I
out.
don't know if they're going to animate
When they
that.
find that, I wonder how they're going to...
It pains me to say it because the sheer charm and ambition of it, but the web planet is fucking awful.
Yeah. It's pretty damn awful.
I tell you what,
It's 5 episodes of...
6.
I want you to...
6 episodes.
No, I mean like after the first one. Of,
Oh, right.
I want you to read that fucking map. I'm doing it. I've been doing it. It's going to take me a little longer. Oh, all right then. I'll check back in on you in a bit.
sounds pretty dry.
It's very
Were
dry.
you enjoying yourselves in week 1 when it was about acid and weird noises and everything? That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now you're talking to a hairdryer. This hairdryer.
It's not very good.
Just a few. Just a few. Vicky, go stand over the corner with a necklace on and sleep for most of it.
I've never managed to watch all of the Daleks.
It's a bit too long.
It's long,
a bit too
is
long.
its problem.
I've seen the film, and that's good enough for me.
Yep. Because it's the same thing, but faster.
So,
Stick it on, watch episode 1, 2, and then skip to the last one. You'll get the gist,
but I could
basically.
watch it
from
in colour with the wrong doctor.
But
And claws.
But you'll also be saying, "No, Barbara, why are you snugging the Thalians right there? What are you doing, Barbara?" It's very upsetting.
It is.
It's very distressing.
There's so many moments in the Romans where they're just flirting.
They're
Well, I'll say so many at the beginning and at the end.
Oh, when the Doctor and
'Cause they're
Vicky
all
leave the villa, you
separated
know
from
exactly
it.
what's happening back at that villa.
Well, no, because unfortunately we see it and it's just combing.
Yeah,
Just combs his hair.
That's the afterglow.
That sounds
Bang, 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 bang. Wait, hang on. So you're telling me throughout his hair remained pristine,
Yeah.
and then she messed it up.
Yeah.
She wanted them to know.
Listen,
She was like, "I've bonked his brains out
Ian's-
while they've been away, and I
Ian's
want to show
real
it
cream to fuck.
Yeah.
He's a smooth man.
Yes.
up and down."
Next email.
Oh god.
Oh god. Tom Monty.
Tom THX presentation.
Only dogs can hear it.
Says Dear Chris and Matt, with Series 11 nearly around the corner now.
Nearly around the
When
corner.
so it's around 2 corners.
It's a right, and then it's a left.
Oh god, it's Invasion
When-
of Time episode 5.
When was the last time you were this excited for a new series? of
How
Doctor
do you know
Who?
we're excited for it?
I'm not excited. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, no, me too.
Probably season 5.
Season 6. I was really
Yeah.
geared up for Series 6.
I was more excited for Series 5 than I am now, but this is the first time in a long time where I'm like, I have no fucking clue what to expect from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And that's a good
I
thing.
love it.
Yes. Yes.
Actually, it's kind of very similar to Series 1. Apart from the fact that I'm aware of the world, my actual excitement for the show is just, what is Doctor Who?
Mm.
And that's the kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get the basics, but I got the basics in 2004 when I knew what was coming next year.
Yeah.
I got the basics.
Yeah.
I have no idea other than that how it's going to go.
Yeah. So that's why it's fascinating to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
When do you think we'll get our first trailer for it? The first trailer for Series 10 was more than 3 months before it aired.
SDCC.
Comic-Con. Yeah.
Comic-Con,
I
if
reckon-
not during the summer. And Comic-Con will be like a teaser or
We
something.
would have got it during the World Cup final if it hadn't gone through.
So if you didn't get blame Wayne Rooney, is he still a
That
footballer?
that
I
comes. No.
some
Southgate.
Some
SDCC. Do you think 3 full series is now the default for each actor/actress to play the Doctor, or can you see an actor holding the role for more or less than 3?
Well,
If they don't get fucked about like the past ones have been, and like the time slots and recording schedules of the series being wildly inconsistent from year to year, yeah, I can see him doing more than 3 years.
I mean, Tennant decided to do 3 because Davison told him to do that,
Yeah.
based on advice Troughton had given him.
yeah.
And it worked for both of them, and it worked for Tennant, but then with Tennant, he sort of cheated. He got a bit of a 4th year
Yeah.
because Russell was like, well, I want to leave too, so let's plan a finale of specials.
Yes.
So I think 3's a good average.
Well, the interesting thing is 10, 11, 12 all had 4 years in the role, 3
Yeah.
seasons.
Yeah.
So, it's just an.
Carl, he was only in the role for 4 years. It felt like a fucking eternity.
Tell me about it.
Just the Doctor and Clara Oswald and the time.
Same old. Grey Show.
Tell me, Clara, my good man. Oh God, I don't really know. I don't really know.
But yeah, I would say it's. It depends how grueling they find it as well. I think it's a very knackering part to play.
Yeah.
Even like I was talking to someone the other day about it, and it's like, hang on, they're still filming it. It's only 10 episodes.
Yeah.
But it's still an 8-month production, so it's gone from 9 to 8, but there's still the same amount of time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Just don't kill Jodie and let her have a good run.
yes.
That's what we're saying.
Let her go as long as she wants.
Other than 8 and 9, which Doctors do you think should have had / deserved more series? Colin.
Yeah.
Tom Baker.
Tom Baker forever.
No.
I want Tom Baker to be playing the Doctor still. I don't think he should have ever regenerated.
I like it's a child saying this.
Yeah. I don't think he should have ever regenerated.
Matt Smith.
I mean, he was meant to, wasn't he?
He was meant to have that full season.
Another. Sylve post the last series just to see that tone continue.
No, because he would have regenerated into Richard Griffiths.
And then we would have had a weirdly wonderful alternate 90s. Where no freaking new viewers would ever tune in.
No.
But with Nail and I fans would be curious.
Yeah.
And then still have him turn into McGann and keep it going. And then have him turn into Richard E. Grant.
Oh my god.
Then have a brief break.
Richard E.
and then
Grant.
bring us Eccleston.
And then
In this perfect timeline.
Yeah. Someone in some
The
dimension
darkest
somewhere
timeline.
has that fucking luck.
The dark
Can
dimension.
you imagine a Richard Griffiths Doctor? It would have been fucking fabulous. It'd be like Pie in the Sky.
I was gonna
with
say,
Daleks.
I have to get back to my pub now. The way that I just Pie in the Sky. I love it.
Oh, so good. Oh, do you think Series 11 will still use next time trailers at the end of each episode? Do you want them to stay?
Oh God.
Yes, I think they will.
I think they won't.
Do.
I think they won't.
I think they'll show us trailers for a different show.
I think Graham Norton's going to interrupt the end credits with a continuity announcement for next Tuesday.
I think, in seriousness, it would be quite interesting for them to dump the next time trailer.
Yeah.
So we have a nice old-fashioned credits.
And I think they should do it like the first couple of years of the show and have it so that each story subtly leads into the next one, which we got briefly at the end of Smile into Thin Ice.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Which
stuff
was
like that, yeah.
cool. That'd be nice to have that and just a title.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
But
I think it'll all actually prove that Apple Tree Lane is actually the secret 11th episode and will fix the previous several terrible ones.
But I think you'd no next time trailer, but then you'd have a TV trailer at the end of the end credits.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That makes sense.
I'm down with that, fam.
Finally, Mel. Finally, for this week, this mammoth...
Possibly longest episode of Big Dumb Cast ever.
I am up for work in 3 hours.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry.
Hello, Big Dumb Peeps, plus the mysterious special guest.
Oh, someone read the
Hello.
social media.
Have you been... Social media engagement is at 100%. Have you been watching any of the recent phenomenon that is Doctor Who on Twitch? I've been checking in now and then, and it's genuinely lovely to see thousands of people tuning in every night to watch shows from the 60s, 70s and 80s, and are discovering new favourite Doctors, companions and characters. Plus things like London, 1965, are totally worth it. Comic-Con must be just around the corner. What do you predict we'll see from the big hitters this year? Right then, that's all from me, I think. Goodbye, all.
Thanks, Lewis Pamer. SDCC, we already said, we're not really expecting anything huge unless something's pulled out of an arse.
That'd be pretty huge.
That would be...
Live on stage, ass pulling. Listen, you should see the size of my hemorrhoids. I'm just telling you.
Going to Hall H for some pus sucking.
That's what they call it, Hall H.
You know, the only thing genuinely based on what we know is going to be happening is possibly Doctor Who footage, likely Doctor Who footage of some kind,
Definitely.
and just listening to Kevin Smith's Hall H use traditional address on as a smogcast.
I thought you were saying Kevin Spacey there. I was like, he's not going to
He's
fucking
not gonna
turn up.
I thought it, what was the first part of that?
Have we been enjoying Doctor Who on Twitch? I haven't actually.
I've been avoiding it because Lou and I have been marathoning the show from the start, and I just was like, but I've been keeping an eye on the reactions to it all, and I think the nice thing about it all is the idea that a bunch of people of all ages, but mostly like on the younger end of the audience, are binge watching 60s, 70s, and 80s
what it was
television
for
at the
me?
minute. That's really cool.
When it was first announced, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to watch all of it. I'm going to watch all of it from start to finish, finally.
And then they were like,
And
it's
then-
every weekday, 6 till 11. And it was like,
there was that.
oh.
Got time for that?
And then also, but even before, because I would have made time for that, because I have a fairly flexible schedule.
Okay.
Well, maybe not all day, but every day, but most days.
It's every day, bro.
Every day. I would have
You went
been...
for such a better song, and I'm so glad you did.
But it was when they turned around and said that the 80s Dalek stories weren't going to be on it. I was like, nah, fuck that. You know, because it's just going to piss me off.
We're
Like,
not showing
you need
these
to show-
20 episodes, right, Sod?
You don't show all of it and then turn around and say, oh, actually, we're not going to show like these full stories.
We can't show you these.
Yeah, just show all of it, or fucking don't bother. Go big or go home, or like show a curated selection. Don't be like, just show me everything up until this bit we have to skip for nebulous reasons, which may or may not involve the Termination Estate.
Which they can't clarify anyway, if that's the case, because it's so stupid. It's like, there's obviously something going on here.
The most
This
obvious
is the
thing.
most obvious it's ever been since 2005, because it's just these stories being held back.
So fucking Betty. But
Betty?
Betty. It's so Betty.
It's so Betty.
It's so some mothers do have them.
Ooh,
but
Betty.
I have.
Betty.
I'm a bit. I don't know. It's cynical of me, but I'm like, okay, is it really all new viewers watching it, or
I
is
think
it
a
just,
lot of it is.
or is there a lot of Doctor Who fans just?
Also,
That's still cool in a way.
I think
I'm fine with
people gathering, but
I think there's a big chunk of new Who fans who are seeing this stuff for the first time.
Okay,
it's usually on the Twitch homepage as well when it's on.
Oh, really?
Like,
Okay.
it's usually one of like the highlights on the front page of Twitch to be like, this is happening right now, come watch it.
They must be doing a massive advertising push. That's fascinating.
And
I
yet,
think it's a
the
really neat
Beeb
thing.
can't really talk about it as well. It's just so strange.
They've not advertised it on the BBC.
Yeah, it's so bloody weird.
It's a weird.
I think
thing.
BBC America get around it. I think they can be like, Doctor Who on
yes.
Twitch, go give it a
BBC
watch.
America just get around in general. The tarts.
Aren't they owned by AMC?
Round, get around, they get around.
I
Yes,
get
they get around.
I get around. I get to BBC America. BBC America. BBC America. BBC America.
Twitch.
BBC America. What the fuck? Jesus Christ, Christopher, this podcast is nearly 3 hours long.
I feel like I'm part of a
What
special.
the fuck have we
Just the
been
longest
doing?
episode ever.
I think this is.
Yeah.
Guys, if we do this for another hour, we will have to consult a physician. This is worrying. So maybe we
Is
should
this longer than your live show?
Yeah. The live show was only
2 hours.
1 hour 52, something like that. Yeah. It was meant to be 2 hours, but it was slightly shorter because we were like, well, that's the natural place to end it. Bye, everybody. Yeah,
Never a natural place to end it.
That's true.
Yeah. Sorry.
Just gotta pull out and hope for the best.
Would you look at that?
Oh.
A natural place to end it.
Hey! Oh, damn it, we're back in the loop. Well, speaking of
Season 10.
speaking of back in the loop. Speaking of
Oh, God.
John, lovely John, sweet Jon Gransden, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's
I'm
been
very-
lovely to have
Absolute
you.
pleasure.
Tell these
been a
utter
blast.
nubbins where they can find you in respectful ways that don't like relate to stalking.
Definitely already know.
Oh,
Filth. If you don't know, then it's Ginger Animator on Twitter and now Instagram.
Yes, he's bloody putting tidbits and creative things on that thing.
He's an
Take down your-
Instagraminator.
Yeah, take down your freaking photos of cumin and avocados, because John's giving you actual content. Yeah, talentless shit. Anyway.
Instagram animator.
Instagram animator?
I'm reeling. I think I need another drink.
Oh god, well on that note, bigdamcontact@gmail.com. Give that a little look in and send us questions, you turds. Bigdamcast on Twitter. You can catch me and John on FiveWhoFans on the YouTube. Give that a watch.
Oh yeah, I created that.
Yeah, it's your baby. It's alright, we're putting a bullet in it at the end of the year. It's fine.
Nice
Remember,
big
guys,
gun on the side of the head.
It's coming home.
Oh, too soon.
Is it too soon?
Not by the time this comes out. It'll all be back to Brexit.
Don't break any ambulances this time. You can't.
Yes, don't do that. What's a boot?